Shalom, Master Khan. Shalom, family. Shalom, shalom, Ahad. Y'all smart Lata. Khan. Baba Kushab, make sure that the Mashpachayim, the families, that they know that we're going live. All right. Make sure that they all know that it's time for us to start reading the Torah portion. I'm praying, I'm hoping that this goes well. And the reason being is because of I'm not in a good place with a solid internet connection. But we're still going to give it a try, though. We're going to go for it. All praise. Shalom, Judah. Shalom, Akwaf, Yahweh Shemalakah. Make sure y'all share this out. Let the children of Israel know that we're going ahead and getting started on our Torah portion reading. All right. Salute to the 12 tribes scattered throughout North, South, Central America. Let me go ahead and turn my camera on real quick. Let's go ahead. Shalom, Mashpachah. Shalom, Yashar Allah, Yabrakam, Yahweh, Basham, Hamashiach, Yahushua. It's your brother, Karadasai Alban, Yashar Allah. And as always, as y'all know, we back at it like Torah addicts out of rehab. All right, so we're going to wait for a little bit, and then we'll start on the Torah portion. I pray that this goes well. I think last week, one of the Sabbaths before, I almost went to jail, got kicked out of the library. Apparently, I was going too hard for the man. Yahweh Shema Alatha Khan. All right, Lamadya, Nakwa, Rapaya, Zakaria, Bayamian, Adiel, all of our family members that follow me. If I didn't name off anyone, please don't take it personal. You just know what to do. Get everybody involved. All right. So I'm going to play some Nagayana, and I also got some video clips that I need to pull up. So while I'm pulling up these video clips, let's send out to the children of Israel and let them know that we're getting started on this week's Torah portion reading. Okay. All right. So we're here, and you all know we're going because you'll hear me speaking. The music will be cut off, and then I'll be speaking. All right. So with that being said, make sure y'all send this out, man. Share and help the families of the son of Jacob. All right, the families of the children of Jacob, let me say it like that, to hear the Torah portion. This week's Torah portion, we learn about Abba Zakwan Nawa. We learn about our grandfather, Abraham, father of many, father of much, father of great multitude. Like, yo, how crazy powerful is that to know that we are the grandchildren of Jacob. We're the grandchildren of Sarah. See, it's cool that Kanye, he's putting his life on the line, in my opinion. He's putting his financial status on the line. He's putting his social status on the line. You got those of us that have been saying it for years, and now we see even higher influx of Israelites that we're the children of Israel, that these people are not the true Israelites. These people don't even call themselves Israelites. They call themselves Jewish. So with that being said, now the Jewish lie is being exposed, is being revealed. All right. Revelations chapter 2:9 KJV. All right. Revelations chapter 2 verse 9. And let me bring it up on the screen, and every Israelite should know this. Every Israelite should know Revelations chapter 2 verse 9. Every Israelite should know. We should know, although these scriptures as best we can. Our grandparents wrote it. Revelations chapter 3 verse 9 KJV, Blue Letter Bible. Every Israelite should know these scriptures, because I know that when the Most High showed it to me, it blew my mind. I was finished. I was exposed. Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Rechab, Ach, Mashpachah. That's right, Goy heathens. That's right. Shabbat Shalom. And I do want to say this, man. Our brother Aisha Hawadah, very powerful, beautiful, strong brother in the scriptures and the ministry. He's a heavy hitter when it comes to these scriptures. reserved brother, you know, but get to know him. You know, go to his Facebook, go to his YouTube, get to know him. Very beautiful, very powerful brother in his ministry, man. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start a screen share. Excuse me. I'm gonna go ahead and start a screen share, and let's just get familiar. So let's start with Revelation chapter 2, and everybody should know this. All right, everybody should know Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. Yahweh says, "I know thy work." Something that's important to teach. We should never shy away from any cultural history. We should teach American history. We should teach indigenous history. We should teach, East Indian history. We should also learn and teach our own culture and history first, and be open with sharing that we know that we're the children of Israel. There's no racism in saying that I am a Hebrew, I am an Israelite. Anya Bini Yaakov. There's no error. There's no harm in that. Yahweh says he knows our works. He knows what? He knows our tribulations. He knows the hardships that we would go through. Yahweh says he knows the problems that we would face. The Most High also told us he knows our poverty. So he says he knows our works, our tribulations, and our poverty. Hold that thought real quick. Let's get something. Let's get Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7. Now, what's powerful about this? Everything. Okay. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7. We see that King Solomon, all right, the wisdom that was given from King Solomon was everything. All right. King Solomon knew the understanding of the world. All right. Check this out. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7, verse 7. Wherefore I prayed, and understanding was giving me. I called upon Yahweh, and the spirit of wisdom came unto me. So if you want to know, how do I read the Bible? How do I study the Bible? How do I start keeping the Sabbath day holy? How do I teach and tell people that I'm an Israelite? The first thing that you need to do is do like King Solomon did. It's cool that we get on videos and stuff and we politic and we chop it up and we share. But the first thing that we need to do is we need to pray. We need to ask Yahweh for wisdom. We need to ask Yahweh for understanding. That's the first thing that we need to do. Okay. So Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7, verse 7. Pray, ask Yahweh for understanding. All right. Call upon Yahweh. See that? Call upon Yahweh. And the spirit of who? The spirit of wisdom, which is a woman. The spirit of Chachmah will come unto you. All right. Now, in the process of us learning these things, that's the first thing that we got to do is call on the Most High, who has all of the wisdom. And we'll get to see how our works weren't accounted for. Everything that we did in America, in the city gates, like now, all praise the Most High, we're starting to see that these revelations are starting to be revealed. We're starting to see that the truth of who our nationality is starting to come to public light, and it can't be hidden. It can't be hidden. It can't be put away. Look at this. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3, verse 6. As gold in the furnace hath he tried them and received them as a burnt offering. So anytime you want to get pure gold, you got to melt down the gold first. And if you want to melt down the gold got to go through the furnace. The furnace is called the furnace of affliction. It's not the furnace of fun. It's the furnace of affliction. So when we're going through the furnace of affliction, it hurts. It's a problem. It's uncomfortable. It's a trial. It's a test. It doesn't feel good initially. But if you make it through the furnace of affliction, shalom to the Yah. Shalom, salute to you, saint. All right, keep up the ministry, man. The good work that you're doing, teaching the people, man. Always, all right. So first, what? Gold. You want to melt down, get the pure gold? It's got to go through the furnace. And through the furnace, Yahweh tries us. He tried us. He tried them and received us as a burnt offering. All right. So that's something to know, that we're going through this because Yahweh is trying us. Who will stick to it? Who will break up? Man, I'm waiting to see. I'm hoping that Kanye don't punk out, man. I'm hoping that Kanye doesn't punk out. I'm hoping that he doesn't quit and that he doesn't be like, you know what, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said that about these people because honestly, he didn't say nothing wrong. I've been walking around. I'm in Illinois right now, and then I randomly bust into a conversation. I'll be like, you know, Kanye was right. You do know that Kanye was right with what he said, right? I'm just sitting there. I'm getting my tire fixed on my car. I'm just sitting there chilling. I look at the person next to me. I'm like, hey, you know that Kanye was right, don't you? Why? Because they don't account our work. They don't account our labor as anything. We built America. We built everything. Revelation chapter 2, verse 9, Yahweh, the Most High, exposing the fact that these people are not the Israelites. And we know it. Now the world is finding out. So now it's time for you to kick it up a notch. Turn your power source on. All right. Taste and see that Yahweh is good. Turn your power source on and teach the people to do righteousness. Teach the people to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, because everywhere we go, Yahweh gives us favor. People want to mock us. They want to follow us. They want to be like us. Well, how about if we do righteousness? And then we prove to the world that we're the children of Israel by our keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments. No, I don't work on the Shabbat. I don't work on the Sabbath. No, I don't work on the Shabbat day. Oh, it's an emergency. Oh, your house is on fire. Oh, your house is flooding. Oh, man, hold on. Oh, it's electrical. Oh, man, we don't want nothing to happen. Hey, man, let me help you. It's good to do good on the Shabbat, but don't use that as an excuse to say, I got to work. Because I'm even on call emergency maintenance, and I negotiate. I'll be like, well, hey, you know what? Is this something that, okay, hold on, let me process. All right, because Yahweh comes first. Oh, you have a drip. Okay, turn that knob. Okay, I'll see you in a couple hours. I'll be to you. And the contract that I'm with, they understand that. So they like, hey, you know what? If you can negotiate with them, and I sure do negotiate with them. Why? Because I want Yahweh's favor to come first. And you have to think like that too. Put the Most High first. The Most High said what? He says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. Let me tell y'all, I've read a lot of Israelite cultural books. I read a lot of apocryphal books, and we are stupid, dummy, rich. Our Father owns everything. Yahweh owns everything. He sent his son, Yahushai, down to redeem us, to save us, to bring us back to him. Yahushai owns everything that Yahweh owns. Yahushai called us his firstborn and his fervent lover. Yahushai is dummy in love with us. He's stupid. He's super stupid in love with us. And everything, and you know what? And he'll trick on us. All right. It ain't tricking if you got it. You know, no, but and he got it. See, I don't believe in tricking. I was just being funny. I don't believe in tricking. I take care of my mashmacha. I believe in taking care of your family. You know, I just thought that would be a good humorous thing to throw in there. The point to say is that the Most High, he'll give us all things. He'll make us to ride on the high places. Isaiah chapter 58. He'll give us the inheritance of our father Jacob. So he listen. So when we are rich, we are rich. But right now we're living in an impoverished state because we disobeyed the Creator. But we're on the upswing. Now remember this, y'all. It's got to get bad before it gets better. It has to get worse before it gets better, and it's gonna get worse. A few things to keep in mind. So-called Tuesday, I'm gonna come back to this, but I want to show you all something real quick, okay? A few things to keep in mind, okay? We are going to have on the third day of the week, there's going to be a red moon that's going to be called. Write these things down. Take note of what I'm saying, okay? On the third day of the week, there's going to be it's called a eclipse gopher moon. That's what it's called, okay? It's called an eclipsed gopher moon. So after this weekend, and I've been putting, that's why, like, you might see it on my Facebook, you know, I have a picture of a super moon up, okay? It's going to peak around probably maybe 4 p.m., okay? So, but the point of saying that is to say, not only is there going to be a super red moon, and it's going to be a lunar eclipse at the same time, because there's a difference between a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse, and I'll talk about that later. There's a brother in Kansas City named Brother Corey, and another brother named Mashayach, who believe that full moon is new moon, and it is not. They did some videos to where they were speaking very unloving about me, and even though they said we love the brother, they were still speaking very rudely about me, and I haven't addressed them yet because I'm using wisdom and I'm using discretion. But I'm going to speak on that. If you believe that full moon is new moon, that's easily dispelled with one verse, which is Psalms chapter 81, where it literally tells you that the moon is kasa or kasa'ah. I'll get into that another time. So the fact that full moon is the opposite of the interlunar phase, which is called the lunar conjunction or inferior conjunction, you know, to where the moon is receiving no light from the sun and goes through the process of being reborn, going into waxing crescent, when you can see about 3% illumination from the first to the third day. That time frame is what's called new moon. And new moon starts when the light is waning crescent going off to where she can't be seen. That's called interlunar, all right, to where the moon can no longer be seen. That's called interlunar because it's between two light sources and it's in between the illuminations. So from no light all the way until she starts to slowly wax crescent up until the third day, now we're looking at new moon. So new moon is not full moon, but what we'll see, and I know that was a real quick, brief lesson. There's so much information to prove on it. I got books. So not just my word of mouth, but books. All right. We have to study astronomy. We have to study ancient astronomical instruments that was used, because you have people that say very childish things like, and Brother Corey said a lot of these things, and I just don't agree. I'm going to be saying his name a lot because he said my name a lot, and I just want to make sure I address him properly. So, and you all probably don't know of him. He's a brother in Kansas City. But you may see the Most High, he can use anyone. So you may see the ministry that the Father's giving him up more. So the point of saying that is to say, there are brothers who believe that full moon is new moon. It is not. All right. It's full moon. But the point is that this specific full moon coming up within 3 days, there will be, and you're going to see like changes in weather. You're going to see changes in attitudes. You're going to see different. Women are going to be on their menstrual cycle for longer than normal. Like, why is my flower? Okay, well, because the moon affects the pull, the gravitational pull of the waters, including the fluids that are inside of women. So it might affect women's menstrual cycle. It might affect women's attitudes. But we do know that the Most High, he gave us the sun, the moon, and the stars to be signs for seasons. So this so-called Tuesday within 3 days, which is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday is the third day of the week. So this so-called third day of the week, we will be towards evening, we will be seeing a blood red super moon, which is also called, I ain't gonna say blood red, it's a gopher, it's a gopher moon, which is also a lunar eclipse. So we have that thing that's happening. We have the red heifers, all right, the red heifers that the Jewish European nation around the world, they're trying to find these things, and now they finally found these red heifers that were born that they want to bring to Jerusalem, that they're bringing to Jerusalem to sacrifice, because they want to dedicate the third temple. The third temple is going to be an abomination temple, because we know that Yahweh is going to bring the temple down from the heavens and plant it on the earth. It's going to be made of costly jewels that no man can have. So we know that what they're doing is off. Let me bring their picture back up. All right, let me bring this picture back up. All right. Hey, 20 seconds. Amen. Hallelujah. There's my Banath. Shalom, Banath. Yahweh Shema Latah. And Yahablaka Banath. Man, all praise, man. Hallelujah. Shalom, Lalita. Yahweh Shema Latah. All right. So, yeah, man, 20 seconds. That's funny. And so, I mean, information is extensive from the Holy Spirit, you know, because I've studied and read it. I asked him for it. So, but we'll get back to that. So check this out. Let me bring this picture back up. Okay. So these people are not the Israelites. Okay. So with us seeing and saying that and understanding that, we have signs of not only the blood red moon that's coming up, we have the heifers that's coming up, but we also have the Jewish Messiah, the so-called Jewish Messiah. And for those of you who don't know, there is, hold on, Jewish Messiah. All right. Let's see if we can just get a couple images, something quick and easy. All right. Nah, here. I'm pretty sure somebody has some information out there. I know Sakari just did a video on it. Let's see. Brother gave me his name here. Let me see. I'm going to put is here. All right. Man. Oh, okay. Here go one of them. All right. All right. I'm gonna have to find his name. Can anybody find his name and type in his name for us, Baba Kushah? Because well, we don't want to. Well, the signs really don't. Already, he's already holding meetings with Messiah. Yeah. Nah, okay. That's all I'm gonna do for that. I apologize, everybody. I couldn't get the information as quick as I wanted to, but yeah, you know what? Yes, I can. All right, everybody, hold on for 2.5 seconds. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna type his name in. We got a Simeonite brother that shared the information with me. Shabbat shalom, everybody. All right, Shabbat shalom, family members. Appreciate you. The water for the love, man. Make sure y'all salute each other, man. Salute one another too, man. Show love to each other, man. All right. Show love to your nation. Show love to the brothers who you don't know. All right. To the sisters you don't know, man. Who knows, man? You might find your soulmate on this Torah portion reading. Who knows, man? All right. So let me go ahead and type this in. All right. Let's go ahead and type in. And y'all can copy this information too and have it. Okay. All right. Yanuka. All right. Yanuka. And then Rav, and he's going by the name Shlomo. All right, this is supposed to be Shalom or Shalom, and then Yehuda. All right, Rav, Yanuka, Rav, Shlomo, Yehuda. All right, so they're calling him the Yanuka because they're saying he's supernatural. Okay, they're saying he's not a normal person. He's supposed to be superhuman. He's supposed to have the entire Torah memorized. Yeah, Shlomo, Tuala, Khan. So here's the complete name of this, and he can be their Gentile. He can be whatever they want him to be. But we know who our Savior, who our Allahaya, who our Adonai, who our Master, who our King is. All right, and it definitely ain't this leprosy infested goy. It's definitely not this leprosy infested goyam. So here's a picture of him. All right, perfect harmony. All right. Man, I hate that. Mishpacha magazine. All right, that's supposed to be Mashpacha. That's supposed to be family magazine. All right, so here's another image of him. Okay, all right. The Yuchana is supposed to be like again a supernatural person. You know, look, they crowning him king. Wow, look at that. They calling this man the Messiah, man. All right, so they're saying here go another thing. They're saying that he's performing miracles. You know, he told somebody he's gonna meet the love of their life, and he met somebody, and now he's in love, and you know, he's supposed to be healing people and all this other stuff. So they're really boosting up this Gentile to be, you know, Hamashayach, you know, but of course we see him as this right here, the Antichrist. So all you gotta do is just take this name and then you can just go have a field day. Go look up the information, go watch some videos, okay? All right, there you go. That name will get you all the information that you need. All right, now the point of saying all that is to say this. Yeah, the Most High said that we are rich. He says, he know our works, our tribulation, our poverty, and he says we are rich. But here goes my favorite. I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Man, give a round of applause for the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for Yahweh B'Shem Mashiach Yahushai. All right, give a round of applause for him prophesying these things before they even happened. All right. Here go my next favorite part. Behold, Revelation chapter 3, verse 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. The same European nation who calls themselves Jews and are not, but are Jewish. We know we say they wish they were Jews. They call themselves whatever they want to call themselves. All right. Whatever they call themselves. Now, I love living in Jerusalem. I ain't gonna lie, because they absolutely hate the fact that we know that we're Israelites. They don't call themselves Israelites, man. Supernatural guy that is farsighted. A supernatural guy that's farsighted, man. That's a good one, man. Oh, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's right. Heal the blind, need glasses to see. You can't make this stuff up, all right? You can't make this stuff up, man. So we know that what's going to happen in the end, what's going to happen is that they're going to perform everything that they said they're going to do because they have to. It's a part of biblical prophecy. It's a part of biblical prophecy that this nation has to perform the wickedness that they're set out to do. They have to. And then it has to be revealed. See, they have to be revealed as the son of perdition, just like it has to be revealed that those people that were set on slave ships, those people that were made to be the most mistreated, the most abused, the most murdered, the most beaten by the police, the most raped in the prison systems, the most women who were used for the experiments which sprung off gynecology. Our mothers, our grandmothers, their vaginas were abused with metal and instrument tools to try to do gynecological, if that's a real word, the science. All right, the gynecology science was performed on experiments on Israelite women. Come on, man, stop. Listen, what we got to do is we have to stop forgetting what was done to our forefathers. It's cool. We can live amongst anybody. We can be peaceful. There's nothing wrong with telling the truth. There's nothing wrong with talking about what actually happened. And there's also nothing wrong with being shalom, with being peaceful. Well, see, the scriptures tell us to suffer patiently. The scriptures tell us to suffer patiently. So work with them. Work with the nations. Work with the world. Profess your Allahiyah. Profess your God. Wear your fringes. Wear your borders. Represent your three holy colors. Represent your menorah. You know, there's a sister that's on here right here. Her name is Ra'ashwan. All right. Sister Ra'ashwan, your Pa Creations. She'll make you a government of Israel flag. Or make you a government of Israel backpack, a bag. I got man rich here everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. Mashra Yashala. All right. Represent your culture. Represent your, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what something's wrong? This is something that's wrong. When we don't confess the master, when we don't confess what the Most High did, not only to us, but what he's going to do for us, then there's something that's wrong. Okay? Let's get to this real quick. I want everybody to see something, all right? I want everybody to see something, all right? And Shabbat Shalom to everybody that's here, that's building with us right now. All right, check this out. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, and this is what we see happening right now in the midst of this whole Kanye mess. In the midst, because that had to happen. It had to happen. Okay, it must happen. Why must it happen? It must happen because our people have to see. The whole world has to see, and it can't. You know, it could happen with one little poor impoverished boy. Who's traveling around the world trying to teach and trying to work. It can happen through somebody like that. Yahweh says he used the foolishness of the world to confound the wise. All right. So watch this. Now look at this. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face as such as have afflicted him. And this is what's happening. You seeing athletes, you seeing celebrities, you seeing, you got us little guys down here on the bottom, the little women. And salute to all of you daughters of Israel that's been making us fringes and making us garments and and keeping the Shabbat. Salute to all of you daughters of Israel that's been keeping the nation of Yasha Allah in the spotlight by the work that you've been doing. And you got the men that's out here in full body suits, armors, garments. You all have purchased. You all have put in labors and works. Salute to you women of Israel that have been on the front line with us. Because remember, during the time of Pliny the Younger, during the time of Gaius, Caligula, these women, the women of Israel, were getting murdered right alongside of us. Hot burning instruments placed on their bodies, inside their bodies, just so they can try to get our people to denounce Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. The women of Israel was right there with us. So you women are standing up in great boldness too. Don't faint, don't fall, you daughters of Israel. Don't faint, don't fall, you men of Israel, because at the end of this, it's either one or two things. It's either life or death. It's either going to be your reward and eternal joy, or your punishment and eternal pain and sorrow and suffering for you leaving the truth, for you becoming an adulterer, for you leaving your husband, for you becoming a super Hebrew Israelite vegan who doesn't believe in the Torah, doesn't believe in Moses, don't believe in the so-called right, the lion pen of the scribes, go after that Malachi Magus false doctrine. You sisters, stay strong with us men of Israel, and let's get our reward together, and let's live together in eternity. By Shema Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Look at this. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. Ain't that what's happening right now? That's what's happening right now. Tucker Carlson and all these other Gentiles, they're trying to just get Kanye to apologize. Just say you were wrong. We'll give you back your Nike deal, your Adidas deal. We'll stop. See, they messed with his money. The scripture says, what? What good is it for a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Man, I pray that Kanye don't punk out, man. I pray he don't punk out. I hope he keep going strong and go even stronger, go even harder. Man, if he punk out, man, I don't know, man. I know that we ain't gonna punk out. We ain't got nothing to lose. But the nation is seeing what's happening right now. See, they see it. They shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for. They're going to be amazed at the strangeness of what's going to happen to us and for us in the end, because what they wanted was for us to die out. But we strong. Yahweh made us strong. We're not going to die out. We don't die. We multiply. We Jacob's kids. We don't die. We multiply. And they, this is talking about the Gentiles, and they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision. This is the one that we called niggas. This is the one that we called spics, redskins, red man. This is the one. How are these people the people of the Bible? This was he who we called niggas and porch monkeys and gator baits, tar babies. These are the ones that we didn't want them to live in our communities. They should have been scrambling and fighting for us to live in their communities. Just let us have our way, as long as we follow Yahweh's law, statutes, and commandments. They're going to say, this was he. See, because there's a difference in between a wicked Negro and a righteous Negro. A wicked Israelite and a righteous Israelite. And for those of us that are following the Most High's law, statutes, commandments, that believe in Yahweh, who believe in his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai. For those of us who believe in keeping, reading, listening to his Torah, keeping the Shabbat day holy, keeping the new moon, building tabernacles during the time frame of tabernacles, keeping the Pesach, even in captivity, rehearsing righteous acts. See, it's a whole different vibration with us. It's a whole different spirit, a whole different power than it is with the wicked ones who want to be out in the world walking around in pajamas. I can't stand that, man. Seeing Negroes walking around in damn pajamas with fashion shoes. Grown men walking around in SpongeBob pajamas and some brand new Jordans. That's weird. We're supposed to be a priestly nation, a holy nation. 2nd Ezra chapter 1, KJV. We're a godly nation, a priestly nation. We're a set-up nation. The Most High set us up for success. He didn't set us up for failure. He set us up for success. Let's go ahead and get that real quick. We'll come back to that. 2nd Ezra. All right. Check this out. The son of Aaron of the tribe of Levi, right? Go thy way. Show that people their sinful deeds and their children their wickedness, which they have done against me. This is how we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be showing our people, telling our people, listen, you can't do that. You ain't supposed to do that. Hey, that's wicked. That's wrong. Yeah, you're an Israelite. Don't eat that. Don't do that. This is how we're supposed to be. Don't be afraid to show and to tell our people their sins. Look at this. How long shall I forbear them, and to whom I have done so much good? The Most High wants to bring us back. The Most High wants to bring us back to righteousness. Look at what he says. He says, many kings have I destroyed for their sakes. Yahweh's destroyed many nations for us. That's called a fervent lover. That's walking into what Yahweh Shai did for us through the power of his father Yahweh, was walked into the strip club where we was at. Took us off the pole. He took us off the stage. And then he pimp slapped the people that was throwing their money at us, that was groping us, and that was molesting us. Yahweh is the ultimate captain, save a nation. What you thought I was going to say? He's a captain, save a nation. Many kings have I destroyed for their sakes. Pharaoh with his servants and all his power have I smitten down. All the nations have I destroyed before them. And in the process, I have scattered the people of 2 provinces, even of Tyrus and Sidon, and have slain all their enemies. See that? So Yahweh loves us. These are the things that he's done for us. And in the last days, it's going to be even proven even more. And it's going to be Israelites that's going to jump on at the very last minute. Let them jump on. Let them jump on at the last minute. Yeah, he could either be a punk. That's fire. I like that. I like that. Kanye can either be a punk or he can be Paul. He can either be a punk or he can be Paul. That's right. So where black men test. Yeah, absolutely. That's right. Say that, true princess. Just like we were abused. Man, all praise Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Yahweh Shai. That's what I'm talking about. We have righteous children that are growing up to be the next generation of Israelite men and women that's teaching our people. Look at that, man. Young daughter of Israel got on here and dropped some jewels. The same way that we were using experiments for gynecology is the same way that we were using the Tuskegee syphilis study. Y'all know how terrible syphilis is? Your body falls apart. You got pus coming out of places you don't want it to come. Your skin falls off your bones. You get boils. They were pumping us full of syphilis, not a remedy. They were pumping us with the sickness. And you know what? This nation right here, they're going to pay forever. And you got people that want to cling on to them when in reality they should be clinging on to us. Good job for that, Shaddai. Good job, princess. Gold star on your paper. So we see that these things are coming to true and they repenting. Look at this. Let's get to it. All right, let's get to it. Let's go to the screen share. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. I had to look this up. When I first heard this word proverb, I was like, oh, it's talking about proverbs? Oh, you mean like wise sayings? No, it ain't talking about wise sayings. It's statements of disrespect. They're called epithets. Look at this. We fools. This is what the Gentiles are currently. Now, some of them are saying this now, but the whole world is going to say this. We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered amongst the children of Yahweh and his lot amongst the saints? How are these niggas the true Jews? How are these people that were sold into slavery? The Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Dominicans, Haitians, the North American Indians. We wouldn't even give them water. That's the same. Listen, what's happening to the North American Indians right now, the tribe of Gad, is the same thing that happened when we were coming out of the wilderness, coming out of Egypt, when we asked the other nations, let us pass by. We will pay for our water. And they refused us water. How can people not see that they're the children of Israel? They're going through the same prophecies. This is what they're going to say in the future. Therefore, we have erred in the way of truth. And the light of righteousness has not shined unto us. And the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yea, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of Yahweh, we have not known it. Yeah, they're going to confess that they haven't known the ways of Yahweh. Why? Because even right now, they're refusing his holy children. Watch this. What has what? What's that key word right there? What's that thing that Yahweh says he hates? Yahweh says he hates pride. But let me show y'all something. Let me show y'all something how wicked this world is becoming. All right. Prayer to the queer God, Duke University. Hold on. It gets better. Let me see if I can find the actual. Okay, here. Yeah, boom. Hold on. Check this out, family. I want y'all to hear this well. I want y'all to hear this very well. Okay?
Good morning.
Now, I want y'all to see what this is. Divinity, pride, refined. Check this out.
Holy and queer one be with you. Good morning.
Yeah, no, you heard that right. You heard that right. Let me run it back so you can hear it again.
Good morning. Holy and Queer One be with you. Good morning and welcome to worship. My name is Caroline Camp. I use she, they pronouns. I am the community.
She said, I use she, they pronouns. Not Yahweh, the Father, not he, not O Abanawa Yahweh Basham Hamashiach Yahweh, but she says she, they, it. Oh, queer one.
Communications coordinator for Duke Divinity Pride, and I am ecstatic to see this worship space so full and so vibrant with color. Thank you all for being here at the first ever Divinity Pride worship collaboration. We want to thank everybody who had a hand in making this happen, from the chaplain's office to those who folded the bulletins, to the music, and to you. Thank you for being here today. We at Divinity Pride want to create a worship space that honors and celebrates all of our unique and good identities. Today, you will hear from 4 amazing speakers and 3 beautiful soloists who will give words to their experiences with the God who calls them. We want to affirm everyone to be who they truly are, to step into the Holy One's fire that burns away all that says we are not good enough, and refines us by the Pentecostal fire to be who...
I want y'all to hear that again. She said, I want you all to step into the fire.
Holy One's fire that burns...
Wait a minute.
To step into the Holy One's fire.
Yeah, they definitely gonna step into that. And I ain't talking about like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, or like, you know, Abraham in the furnace. I ain't talking about fire like that. I'm talking about Sodom and Gomorrah fire. Boom, bye, bye, in the batty boy head. Ruba not promote them, not some man, them off in dead. What's the other song say? Burn down Sodom, burn down Sodom, burn down Sodom and Gomorrah. Them wrong. Without them false religion, them wrong. Where them get them idea from?
Truly are to step into the Holy One's fire that burns away all that says we are not good enough, and refines us by the Pentecostal fire to be who exactly the great queer one calls us to be.
Y'all heard that, right? Y'all heard that, right? So it's not just me. All right, just making sure. Also, sidebar. We see this over here. This is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And the reason being is because even though they're attempting to take something that the Most High made for righteousness, for beauty, for glory, the scriptures tell us that the rainbow is above his head. It's above his throne. Revelations, there's a rainbow over the angel head that comes down, that's going to come down upon the earth. You know, it's a sign of his covenant, that he would never destroy the world by water, but he's going to destroy it by fire. Boy, they just don't know how bad they setting themselves up. Let's get it.
Let the Spirit move you today. Lift your hands and your voices and dance in whatever way is most freeing for you. Would you please stand, step into this worship space, and pray with me the words found in your bulletin and on the screen. Strange one, fabulous one, fluid and ever becoming one, do not allow us to make our ideas of you into an idol. You are as close to us as our own breath, and yet your essence transcends all that we can imagine. You are mother, father, and parent. You are sister, brother, and sibling.
All them going, listen, all them. Man, let me see. I'm just kind of scanning the crowd, just kind of see. That's a Chester. That's a Chester. No, but for real though, the sad part about it is, look, what is this supposed to be? What's that supposed to be? What's that like a? What's that supposed to be? Just kind of scanning the crowd, man. This is terrible, man. This is a Bate chapel service.
You are drag queen and trans man and gender fluid, incapable of limiting your vast expressions of beauty. Embodied in us, your creation, we recognize our flesh in all its forms is made holy in you. With thanksgiving, we celebrate your manifestation in all its glorious forms. Blessed are our bodies, blessed is our love. Blessed are we when we celebrate that which the world turns away. Fill our hearts with a pride rooted in resistance to all that seeks to destroy. Please remain standing and sing with us.
We're going to come back to that. I want to play that again.
Good morning, everyone. It's the Sunday we've all been waiting for. So in line with our theme this summer, I'm going to do a reflection on a kid's story. I'm going to read that to you now, and then after the story, you can take your youth down to kids' space. And then, yeah, we'll have a celebration in the streets later. So this will be a little bit shorter service, but we're going to continue the service with communion in the streets. So in trying to pick a book for my reflection today, my niece Emma suggested this book, The Day the Crayons Quit. And when I had to read through it, I realized just how perfect it was. It has been reflecting my feelings lately. And I think it's so...
Yeah, I know. I think I feel the same way that y'all feel about that. So we're going to go ahead and keep it moving. All right. So let me go ahead and do this just so I can show you all. All right. Just to kind of skip forward. All right. And again, I apologize. This is church.
Drag legends, Felicia Bonet, Mr. Lamar, and Hillhurst United Church's very own Europa. Give it up.
Okay. So with that being said, you know, yeah. It's the Shabbat, so we ain't gonna X, Y, and Z, you know. But what I will do is I'll copy paste the link.
Hey, my name's Kevin.
I completely don't care, dude. All right, so I'll copy paste the link, and then for educational purposes, okay, you all can, yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah, say that.
Today we choose to recognize, honor, love, and celebrate.
Boy said brimstone food.
Who would claim their identity publicly?
He said brimstone food. I've never heard that before. All right, now I will do this one more time. I will do this one one more time. Not that one. All right. Now just listen closely again to the prayer. This is less than 3 minutes. All right. Brimstone food. That's a good one, man. All praise. All right. Here's the links. Check them out for yourselves. All right. Then we'll get to our back to our reading.
For becoming one. Do not stay to be exactly the great queer one called and refines us by the Pentecostal fire to be who exactly the great queer one calls us to be.
You got to think about that. She's standing there calling the heavenly and holy one of Jacob queer. Yeah, I know. I heard some of y'all say,
Let the Spirit move you today. Lift your hands and your voices and dance in whatever way is most freeing for you. Would you please stand, step into this worship space, and pray with me the words found in your bulletin and on the screen. Strange one, fabulous one, fluid and ever becoming one. Do not allow us to make our ideas of you into an idol. You are as close to us as our own breath, and yet your essence transcends all that we can imagine. You are mother, father, and parent. You are sister, brother, and sibling. You are drag queen and trans man and gender fluid, incapable of limiting your vast expressions of beauty. Embodied in us, your creation, we recognize our flesh in all its forms is made holy in you. With thanksgiving, we celebrate your manifestation in all its glorious forms. Blessed are our bodies, blessed is our love. Blessed are we when we celebrate that which the world turns away. Fill our hearts with a pride rooted in resistance to all that seeks to destroy. Please remain standing and sing with us.
So, yeah, so we ended up getting on that path because we see the direction that things are going. All right. We see what in their pride. See? All right. So we're in Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 8. What have pride profited us? And let me tell you what it profited them. It profited them brimstone food. This is an excellent answer, right? I've never seen that man said brimstone food. That's a good one. That's a good one. Never heard that. All right. Yeah. 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 Kanye can be a punk or he can be Paul. All right. Shabbat Shalom, Kanaya Wakanawan. All right. Greatly appreciate. Very happy to see you here at the ministry with us. All right. Yeah. Wow, I was right. Yeah. Wow, I was right. Yeah. You got that right. Hey, listen, in the world, they praying that prayer, and I'm watching them thinking of the songs of Ohio players. Fire! That's a good one. All praise, all praise. Salute to the house of Maharaka. How is Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. That's right, everybody. Baba Kusha, like and share this video out. All right. We're going to get to the Torah portion reading. All right. Salute to everybody that's building with us. Make sure that y'all are sharing out. All right. Make sure that our people are seeing. Make sure our people are hearing. And the reason being is because the Most High gave us 6 days a week to do everything we want to do. That He commanded us what to do on the Shabbat day. So the Shabbat day is Yahweh's holy day. The Shabbat day is the day that Yahweh commanded us to not go about doing our own will. He said no work, no buying, no selling, no personal pleasures. Sex is a pleasure. So abstain for sex for 1 day. All right. But there's other pleasures. But what if a person is a Bathwallah? What if they're a virgin? What if they're like, well, I don't have sex, so I don't got to worry about that. Okay, well, abstain from the rest of the things that you do throughout the week. Okay, that you know that's a pleasure for yourself. Okay, so in that way, you'll be learning how to keep the Shabbat day set apart, keep the Shabbat day holy. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 8. What hath pride profited us? Or what good hath riches with our vaunting brought us? All those things are passed away like a shadow, and we as a post that hasted by, and as a post that hasted by, and as a ship that passeth over the waves of the water, which when it is gone, the trace thereof cannot be found, neither the pathway of the the keel in the waves. So so in the future, and this is what we see happening right now. Okay. This is what we see happening right now. The profession of the wake up of the children of Israel is happening worldwide. It's happening worldwide. And I am not a huge Kanye West fan. I am very grateful that Yahweh can use whoever He wants to, and that Yahweh does use whoever He wants to. I am very grateful to see that the nations are bothered. They're troubled. Listen, if any of you want to start teaching, right now is a good time. All you got to do is when you're at the barbershop, no matter where you are, just turn to somebody and be like, you do know that Kanye was right, don't you? Or be like, Kanye was right in what he was talking about, right? And see, that'll spark up a conversation. And if you really want to get some good practice in, get some practice in right now on ministering. All you got to do is say, hey, Kanye was right. Kanye was right about what? What you mean Kanye was right? Oh, yeah, we the real Jews. We the real Israelites, right? We the real children of Israel. We're the Hebrews. Kanye was like, because you could tell he didn't know what to say, but the zeal was on him. Like the scripture says, they have zeal, but not according to knowledge. You know, they have a zeal for God, but not according to knowledge. Kanye was like, you know, we from the 12 tribes of Judah. We from the 12 tribes of Judah. That was cute. That was so cute. That boy was trying so hard. He was like, because really, though, we from the 12 tribes of Judah. It was so real, though, that, you know, like I had to laugh, but at the same time, I didn't make a joke out of it until now. But it was so real because you could tell that he was trying. He wanted to say that. He wanted to say what the truth was. You know, he just didn't know how to say it. You know, but but what we also seen was that, you know, the truth is that the information is worldwide, it's public, it's getting out there. All right. The sister, she said, actually did that this week with 2 co-workers, made for great conversation and question. All praise, hallelujah, hallelujah. So listen, I'm telling y'all, follow this sister's example. I was at T-Mobile. My phone messed up. I had to get another cell phone. So I went to T-Mobile, and I'm talking to the people in there. You know, y'all know me. You know, super brew is what they say. You know, I got 7 garments, so super cool. You know what I'm talking about. So I'm up in T-Mobile. And you know, just chopping it. And instead of going hard like I usually go when I'm in public, because I'll be loud and, you know, whatever, you know, cry loud, spare not, lift up like voice like a trumpet, you know, all that good stuff. But this time I was like, hey, you know, that stuff that's on TV and what they're saying about Kanye, you know, that he's actually right with what he's saying. And in the process of just saying that one small statement, it sparked up a whole teaching session in the store. And the people that were working there were asking questions. The people that was working there started teaching and they started bringing up stuff to where I was like, you know what, okay, well, cool, I can answer that question. So let's talk about that. You know, so the point of saying all that is to say, you try it for yourself. All right, hey, you know, Kanye, you know, that whole thing with Kanye, he's right. You know, how they doing him wrong by saying, you know, he didn't lie. He's not telling no lies. You know, we are the children of Israel. Don't say we're from the 12 tribes of Judah, okay? You know, hey, we from the 12 tribes of Judah. You know, but it's a great conversation starter. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to kind of segue, just kind of go into the Torah portion teaching. All right, why is it so important? Because we're learning that not only are we the children of Israel, but also the promises. See, that's what's important. We need more people that are Gentile minded. Like, I love teaching our people who know, but we also need to be able to teach our people who don't know. All right. And that's what I'm interested in, because we got so many Israelites who know the truth. But what about our family members and friend members? What about our family members and our friends who don't know the truth? They need to be told and shown also. And the reality of it is when we read this week's Torah portion about Abraham, and we read about how Abraham traveled, we're reading about our grandfather. If you're watching right now, because I might be entertaining in what I'm showing or how I'm talking, or, you know, me moving my hands, or, you know, eyebrows, or, you know, if you're watching now because of that, but you leave when we start reading the Torah portion, you was fake from the beginning. If you leave whenever we start reading the Torah, but you were watching whenever I was saying stuff and showing stuff, that means you only here for entertainment and you fake. That means you got a low attention span and you really ain't about the word of Yahweh. You just want to be entertained. So for the past week or so, like, I've been off of Facebook, I've been off of YouTube, because I've been feeding my own soul. You know, I put a post on Facebook like, yo, I'm not worthy to teach. I'm not equipped to teach. You know, I ain't say equipped. I was like, you know, I'm not worthy to teach, something like that. But that was because, you know, I'm watching, I'm seeing what's going on, and I'm also watching what's going on with me, and it's time for me to feed my own soul. All right. So if you want to learn, if you want to see Yahweh's storyline for your people, for your culture, then stay. Don't be fake. Actually tune in your household. Turn the dial to your household. All right. And turn the volume up in your household, so your family, your friends, your neighbors above you, beneath you, next to you, open the windows, open the doors. Let the people, you might not be good at saying it, but the Most High gave me a gift of being able to say it. So open the windows, open the doors. Let the people hear Hatawarah. Let the people hear the Torah. Okay? Shalom, Bayamian, Anya Blaka, Ban. Ata Aisha Tawab, Ban. Okay? Call Hapa'aim Aisha Tawab. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right, we're gonna get started on the Torah portion reading, and I'm gonna go ahead and switch to my study music. All right, this is my study music. Let me see. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it. This week's Torah portion, we're gonna learn about our father Abraham, our father Abraham, and in the process of learning about our father Abraham, last week we learned about Noah or Noah. Now, last week I didn't go live on the Torah portion teaching, and it's kind of sad because I'm like, dang, okay, I didn't go live on the Torah portion teaching. Well, where are all the men at? Where are the men teachers who are supposed to be teaching the Torah portion? And it's like, what? Like, yo, where does Zaquan? I know we got Zaquan Nathaniel, we got Zaquan Parazah, we got my brother Yahushai Yatazach, all right. But what about the rest of the men of our community who are supposed to be reading the law, statutes, and commandments into the ears of our community, into the ears of the Goyim, into the ears of the Gentiles? I'm speaking for other scriptures, like Paul said, to the Jew first, then to the Gentile, to the Israelite first, then to the Gentile. But I don't restrict Gentiles from hearing the word of Yahweh. And it's so sad because in a lot of occasions, the children of Israel will turn away our ear. We don't want to hear it, like it make us uncomfortable. But then the Gentiles, like they'll be like, okay, what was that? Where do I look up that at? How do I get to understand the Bible? I had a Gentile ask me the other day, right before it was time for me to quit, my contract. He was like, I don't understand the Bible. How do I get it? How do I get it? How do I understand it? I was like, yeah, man, this is how, So anyway, so long story short, let's focus now. And let's get into this week's Torah portion, all right? So I'm going to start off with sharing this week's Torah portion. Tawada salute our Aqua, or Ashwan, Irab, Kharatizaya Yasha'Allah, for always making sure that we share and we have the Torah portion. This week I'm going to do something a little bit different. We're going to start with the gospel first, okay? The gospel is very short, and I want to get through reading Yahushai's words. I want to read our master's words, our king words, who the world ignorantly and sometimes accidentally calls Jesus Christ. I want to read his words first. And then we're going to go to the gospel, to the Torah. We're going to read about Abraham, and then we'll go to the prophets. But I want to read our king. I want to read our master's words first. And now we'll see who the real from the fake is. All right. Now we'll separate the real from the fake. Who's going to stay? Who's going to pay attention? Who's going to feed their spirit with hearing the word of Yahweh, opposed to just being entertained, like, kind of like, who comes to church? Who comes to church, like, and then leave, when the choir is done singing? Or who comes to church and then, was like, well, I don't want to hear all that singing stuff. I just want to come hear the word. Are you there for the entertainment? Why are you really here? Are you really here to learn, to hear the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh? Because that's what's going to do it. It's not you knowing me, or it's not me being your Facebook friend, or it's not you being subscribed to my YouTube. What's going to do it for you is if you're actually listening and studying for yourself. You know how wicked you used to be. And if you're young and you haven't become wicked, I pray that you never do become wicked. You know what temptations you struggle with. So you know what help you need also. All right. So you know what help you need also. Shabbat Shalom, call. Shabbat Shalom. All right. So the entertaining part, the razzle dazzle part, we're done with. There are a few things. There's going to be some other videos that I'm going to bring up, that I'm going to present, and one of those things, we got to read up to it. So I do have more videos that I want to share, but before I share those videos, we have to read up to it in the Torah so we can get it. Now, with this week's Torah portion, we do have a biblical outline. Okay, so just starting off with the biblical outline, you're going to see a few things. Okay, and one of those things that you're going to see is the pattern of how the Torah portion is going to be. So starting with Genesis chapter 12, verse 1, we're going to see Abraham is called. Okay, so Yahweh calls our father Abraham. Then we get to Genesis chapter 12, verse 10. All right, we see Abraham and Sarai in Melchizedek in Egypt. Okay, what was it like when they was living in Melchizedek? What was it like when they was living in Egypt? Okay, and you Israelite women, stay away from these Hamites. Okay, you Israelite men, stay away from these Hamites. Okay, stay away from these Cushites, stay away from these Hamites, stay away from these Canaanites, you children of Israel, because in all reality, Yahweh told us that we were supposed to kill all of them. That's a reality. And our forefathers didn't, which I'm not telling anybody to do that. I'm not saying that's something that we do, that we're going to do today. All right. But Yahweh told us to not take on their ways. And we were actually supposed to, if you read the Bible, the children of Israel, we were not supposed to take on their ways. We were supposed to eliminate them because they worship false deities. All right. In all different types of ways. And the Most High said, if we don't get rid of them, then what's going to happen is we're going to take on their ways. And in the process of taking on their ways, it's going to make us be thrown off from actually loving and worshiping him. All right. So we also are going to see in this week's Torah portion in Genesis chapter 14, around verse 1, we're going to see the separation of Lot and Abraham, where they went different ways. It's like, you know what? You got a grip. I got a grip. All right. You got buku. I got buku. All right. We're going to have to split up, man, because it's causing too much contention. All right. So Abraham loved Lot. Abraham was like, look, Lot, if you go that way, I'm going to go this way. If you go this way, I'm going to go that way. But we still mashpacha. We still family. And sometimes that's necessary. Family got to split up sometimes. I'm coming to realize that. I'm coming to see that. Yeah, we still family, but we got to go different ways sometimes. But it's got to be done the right way. Remember, the women don't call the shots. Husbands and men of Israel, the women do not call the shots on separations or moving or doing what they want to do. No, the women are the men's possessions. They are the everybody likes to say a man findeth the wife findeth a good thing. But the scriptures also say a man that findeth the wife getteth the possession. And that's the part that's the scripture that the women don't like. They like to be like, he find a good thing. Well, what if you ain't a good thing? What if you ain't a good thing? But definitely, whether she's a good thing or not a good thing, she's still a possession. So when it comes to understanding how separations and going and having to operate, it still comes down to what the husband agrees with, but it has to be biblically based. And that's where we go to 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Chapter 7, we're looking at separations. All right, separation is only supposed to be for a little bit of time, and then the two of you come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency. Or in other words, you come back together and have sex so that while you're separated, you're not tempted by having sexual urges. All right, so maybe that's what the relationship is. It's you minister together and then you have sex when you need to and you stay separate. Okay, but when you get that itch, you come back together then. But then you have some people that's not like that. They're like, hey, I just genuinely love being around you all the time. Well, hey, all praise. So understanding biblical righteous relationships and marriages, I would only counsel with somebody who's been in Israelite marriages for a long time, especially been in polygynous relationships. All right. I would not counsel with, I don't believe it's wise to counsel with everybody. Okay. But let's get back to it. So we're looking at separation of Abraham and Lot in Genesis chapter 14, verse 1. Lot's captivity and rescue is in Genesis chapter 14, verse 17. And Lot was rescued by his uncle Abraham, who Lot and his rib was kidnapped by the Arabs. I'm sorry, the East Indians, the East Indians, the Persians, which are the East Indians. And then but they lived in the land of Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, here's something interesting. I didn't live in Sodom and Gomorrah. I was about to say I lived in Sodom. I visited Sodom and Gomorrah on multiple occasions, and the first thing that comes to my mind is it stinks. Even to this day, the Sodom smells like an ashtray. It smells like something that's been burnt up. Like it's got a terrible smell from it. I've seen the walls. I've touched the walls. They crumble under your fingertips. Jerusalem is not in America. I'm going to tell you that right now, because Sodom is not in America. Okay. So wherever these events happened at in the biblical, the Americas may be a part of it. The coast may have been together and they split apart, the Pangean shift and all that stuff. But I'm going to tell y'all right now, I have been to Sodom. I've been to Sodom and Gomorrah, and it is a terrible place to be. When I couldn't wait to pass through it. Yea, though I walked through the valley of shadow of death. So I was amazed that we were there, but leaving it was even better Leaving it was even better because there's still a gloom of destruction or dread that's upon that place. Okay. So Abraham rescued his nephew and his niece, Lot, and Lot's wife. All right. And that's another thing, you know, Lot's wife, like I'll be asking people like, yo, what's Lot's wife's name? Or I say that to my daughters or to my ribs. Like, if you want to be wicked, you want to be like Lot's wife. What's Lot's wife's name? And don't nobody know her name. Her name is Pillar of Salt. Her name is Pillar of Salt. You want to be a disrespectful, disobedient, rebellion, turn away from your husband, woman, you're going to be a pillar of salt. All right. There is no righteousness in being disobedient to your Adawan, to your father, to your husband. There's no righteousness. There's no blessing in it. You're not gonna come up with a better way. All right. So we see that that happens. All right. Abraham and Lot is rescued. Yeah, Pillar of Salt. That's her name. Her name is Pillar of Salt. What's your name, sister? Sister's name, Pillar of Salt. And I know some Pillar of Salts. And when women ask me about them, I'll be like, I can't stand her. I don't like her. Her memory is a stink forever. The scripture says a woman that is bold, her father and her husband shall both abhor her. Shall both despise her. A woman that is bold, her father and her husband shall both hate her. And there's nothing wrong with saying that. How about this? Don't be a bold woman. All right. Don't be a bold woman. Right. Okay. Oh, there's an inside joke to Rashwan. Is that right? Insider. So don't look back. All right. So don't look back. There you go, Rashwan. That's for you. Okay. Don't look back. LOL. All right. So don't look back, you two. And whatever your insider joke is, all praise. You got something funny? You want to share it with the whole class? You want to come up here and teach? You want to come up here and teach? Okay. You want to come up here and teach? Come on. You got something funny you want to say? Woo. I tried to bring y'all on screen, but I don't have your information here. All right. Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. But the point is, okay, don't be a pillar of salt. So we see that happens with Lot's rib, and she does become a pillar of salt. What's her name? She's not worthy of memory and mention in that context because she wasn't a righteous example. All right. The scripture says, lest there be kindness, meekness, and gentleness in their tongue. It says, then her husband is like other men. If there be kindness, meekness, and gentleness in their tongue, then her husband is not like other men. And the reason being is because, it takes that different type of woman spirit vibration to show that she's a woman that's worthy of honor. And Lot's wife was not in this case. Okay. So as we're looking at this week's Torah portion, again, we see the call of Abraham. All right. Then we see Yahweh's covenant with Abraham is Genesis chapter 16, verse 1. The birth of Ishmael, Genesis chapter 17. All right. The sign of the covenant. So we have all different types of information that we have to learn in this week's Torah. It's a Salt Bay. Yeah, that's her name. Her name is Salt Bay, right? Okay. So bro said, man, don't talk about her like that. She gonna get salty. Yeah, the diet. She gonna get salty. That's a good one, man. All right, Salt Bay gonna get salty, right? All right. So we see that these things are a part of our culture. We have to know them. We have to understand them. In the process of us learning, we are the Yaladim of Yasha Allah. We need to learn about our Abi. We need to learn about our fathers. We need to learn about our mothers. Okay, so let's go ahead and get it started. All right, I had a very good time building and just kind of going through it with everybody. Please share this out as we get started on our Torah portion reading. We're going to begin with our Torah portion reading with Hamashiach Hawashai, who the word ignorantly and sometimes accidentally calls Jesus Christ. And the reason being is because we do so much reading that sometimes it gets towards the end and we can miss his portion. But let's read his portion first. Let's read the master's portion first. Okay. And then that way, we cause it's cool, teaching everything, that we be teaching, but, You know, I feel some kind of way when we don't read the master's words. So this week's Torah portion, dealing with the writings of the master. All right, so let me pull it back up on the screen. That's a good one, Salt Bay. I like that. All right. All right, so this week's Torah portion. All right, we're going to start with John chapter 8, verse 51 through verse 58. All right, and before we get started, we're going to say Tawada Yahweh, Basham Hamashiach Yahawashi, Babakashah Nathan Lanawa, give to us Ata Tawara, your instructions, Wa Ata Tawara, Balab Nawayam, your instructions in our hearts. Wa Babakashah Salach Lanawa, please forgive to us. Call Rai, all evil, Wachal Chatayam, and all sins. Babakashah Salakla Abayam Chatayam, please forgive our father's sins. Wa Kal Ha Chatayam, Kal Ha Yaladim, Yashallah Kal Ha Pa'ain, and all the sins of all the children of Israel for all time. Babakashah Barawak, please bless Atayaladiam, your children. Wa Nathan Lanawa, Gadal Shalom, and give to us great peace. Babakashah Nathan Lanawa, please give to us Ata Roach Chachma, your spirit of wisdom. Bahasham Hamashiach Yahawashi, Tawadatam Yad. Amen. The book of John, chapter 8, we're going to read down to verse 58. John chapter 8 and verse 50. And it reads, and I seek not my own glory. This is Yahawashi Hamashiach speaking. And I seek not my own glory. There is one that seeketh and judgeth. Verily, verily, I say unto you, if a man keep my saying, he shall never see death. Then said the Jews unto him, now we know that thou hast the devil. Abraham is dead. Abraham is dead. So we know you off. We know you off. Abraham is dead. Abraham kept the sayings. So how you saying Abraham is dead? And the prophets are dead. And thou sayest, if a man keep thy sayings, he shall never taste death. You off, Yahawashi. Art thou greater than our father Abraham, which is dead, and the prophets are dead? Who makest thou thyself? Who are you? Let me play this clip real quick. Let me play this clip real quick. That just reminded me of something, man. That's hilarious, man. That's hilarious. That's this week's Torah portion, right? And let me go to this real quick. Wow. All right. One of our officers, man. One of the brothers, there's a brother named Brother Corey who has a problem with me. I pray that his problem gets resolved. All right. Whatever it be. But this is something that he said to me a while back. Let me play this.
Look, to Karacha Sayah, I don't know where you coming with the hostility all of a sudden, bro. I didn't come ill when I just responded. I ain't even been saying nothing in this damn group. Like I said, my peace of mind being so much better without this shit. That's why I'm good with this. I don't need this to validate me. Y'all might need that shit. I don't need this to validate me and what I know and what I understand. You know what I'm saying? You ain't nobody to me to worry about, bro.
Who are you, Karatazaya? You ain't nobody to me. Hold on, let me pull him up on the screen, right? It's the brother, right?
With brothers up front. This was supposed to be in this group, and that's what it was supposed to be in. You're the one trying to turn this into something else. And you have a problem with people trying to challenge you. What's wrong with being challenged? Who the fuck are you? Who the hell you think that you can't be challenged? Like you got all the damn answers, bro. That's why I don't get you. I don't rock with you. Period. Because you think, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you can't be challenged? What the hell do you mean? That's like saying, don't challenge the pastor. Like some damn Christian ass shit. Believe what the pastor said because he the pastor. The fuck out of here, bro. I ain't got to believe shit you say because who the hell you say you are. Period. I'm supposed to challenge you and any other man. Period. The hell you talking about, bro? You damn right. Challenge you with your false ass theories.
Who are you? Who are you, Brother Karatazaya? Who are you? So that's our brother Corey from Kansas City. So brother Corey believes that new moon is full moon, and it's not. And what he's referring to is that, I said, brother, you teaching other brothers to challenge me. So he got upset about that. But I was going off of the scripture where it tells us to not stand against the blood of thy neighbor. But he went somewhere completely left field with it. But yeah, man, who are you, brother? Brother, who are you? And this is what we see with this week's Torah portion that's what was said. All right. That's what the brother said. Who are you? Here.
Yeah, Karatazaya. Who are you? Who do you think you are? Karatazaya.
One last salute to the elder Bam, man. That had me in tears, man.
Yeah, Karatazaya. Who are you? Who do you think you are? Karatazaya.
Salute to Bam, to Elder Bam, No Cap, the tribe of Naphtali. If you don't know Bam from Northern Kingdom, from No Cap, he's a beautiful elder, beautiful brother to get to build with. The guy in this video, Brother Corey, y'all going to see a lot more of him coming up because I'm going to be doing some videos, some peer review videos on his videos that he did pertaining to. Not only even I myself, but he did some videos pertaining to new moon being full moon. So I'm gonna respond to him. All right. But this is the same thing that we see. Now, the scriptures tell us the servant is not greater than the master. So if you go through some affliction or you go through some stuff, then if you go through some scriptures or you go through some stuff, then just understand that Yahushua, he already went through it before you. Okay. So let's go back to the book of John, chapter 8, verse 53. Let's screen share. John chapter 8 and verse 53. Art thou greater than our father Abraham, which is dead, and the prophets that are dead, whom thou makest thyself? Who are you? Yahushua answered, if I honor myself, my honor is nothing. If I honor my Father that honoreth me, of whom ye say is your Allahia, yet ye have not known him, but I know him. For if I should say, I know him not, I shall be a liar like unto you. But I know him and keep his saying. Your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it and was glad. Now, how is this possible? How is this possible that Abraham saw Yahushua? Yahushua was supposed to have been born hundreds of years after the birth and death of Abraham. But the reality of it is during the time when the angel came to speak to Yahushua about destroying Sodom and Gomorrah, as we started out this video with seeing, the church services, that was actually Yahushua that Abraham was speaking to. That was Yahushua that our father Abraham was speaking to. It wasn't just a random angel that came down. Yahushua is the captain of the armies. Now, I want to also share with everybody a book that I encourage you to get. I enjoy antiquities. I don't just say history. I enjoy antiquities, okay? I got to also make sure I post. I link that brother Corey in whatever video I do when I use his name. So I'll make sure, because I tried to call him, but I have a way to contact him. All right, so this book is called Eusebius, and I just want to give a salute to the daughters of Israel. Usually when I say, hey, I need a book, man. Hey, look, I need a book, man. The daughters of Yasha'Allah, they come through. This book is called Eusebius Ecclesiastical Histories, okay? Eusebius Ecclesiastical Histories is a historical document. It's not like the Book of Enoch, which I don't support the Book of Enoch. And the reason being is because it hasn't been found largely in Paleo Hebrew or ancient Hebrew. And the part that has been found in the Ge'ez language or the Ge'ez language, which is the Ethiopic language. And then it was given over to the Roman Catholic Church, and then they printed out this huge book. But I support what I know I can prove based off of what goes back to the Paleo or the ancient Hebrew. For those who do support the Book of Enoch, I'm not against you. Now, have I read it? Yes. Have I went through it? Yes. Have I compared the writings of the Paleo-Hebrew and the writings of the Ge'ez or the Ge'ez? Yes, I have. Khan. Now, the Ge'ez is a little bit harder because I'm not good at the Ethiopic text. The Paleo and the modern Hebrew, I'm more familiar with. And the English, of course, I'm familiar with. So therefore, when I'm looking at the book of Enoch in Hebrew, let me show you. Let me show you all right now, as I like to do. Now, say, for example, the book of Jubilees. This is all. This, not this top section, but just this right here. This is all that's been found in the book of Jubilees, along with this part that's been found in the book of Jubilees. So in Paleo-Hebrew. So therefore, I can only validate what I know actually goes back to us. When we're looking at the book of Enoch, in ancient Paleo-Hebrew, starting from down here to this section, this section, this section, this section, this section, all four of these different sections are only segments. They're only segments that's been found. This right here, this is one complete long segment that's been found on astronomy on the book of Enoch. And then this section is the book of Giants. So when we're talking about the book of Enoch, this is all that's been found in Paleo-Hebrew. This is it. This is it. So that 900-page book that brothers be presenting, that 900-page book that brothers be presenting, only 2 pages, 4 pages worth of fragments or segments have been found in Paleo-Hebrew. So that's why I can't validate the book of Enoch, and I won't stand down from my stance, because what they're showing me, what I've already read, is not the same as what's been found in Paleo-Hebrew. And even this part of the book of Enoch in Paleo-Hebrew is not the same that's in the Ethiopic text. Now that's research. All right. So the point of saying that is to say, so this book, Eusebius Ecclesiastical Histories, is not like the book of Enoch. Okay. And the reason being is because this is a historical document from a person that was there, just like a historical document from our elder Isidore of Seville. Okay. So these are historical documents, just like our elder Flavius Josephus. Now, if we look at this, I'm going to read this to you all real quick. Now, hey, Shalom, Katharya, man. Happy to see you, man. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Gudalak. All right. So as we go back and as we read the book of John chapter 8, John chapter 8, verse 56, your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it and was glad. Then said the Jews unto him, how thou art not yet 50 years old? How hast thou seen Abraham? They're like, you ain't even 50, Negro. How you see Abraham? Yahushua said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am. See, then they took up stones to cast at him, but Yahushua hid himself and went out of the temple, going through the midst of them, and so passed by. Now, this is a very powerful and crazy, beautiful statement, because we see that Yahushua was in the beginning. Now, this is from the book Eusebius Ecclesiastical Histories, and we're going to read this part, and this verifies that our forefathers knew that, first of all, there's nothing wrong with being called a Christian. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm an Israelite. That's my nationality. But I know that I'm also a part of the anointed race. I know that I am a part of the anointed people. I am not the anointed, but I am a part of the anointed ones. I am not Mashiach, Mashiach. I am not the Messiah, but I can be a Messiah to my family, to my friends, to my children. I can be a savior to my friends, family, to those that's around me. I can give good advice, good counsel, but I am nowhere near Mashiach, the Messiah. But our forefathers knew that there was a savior that was coming, the savior that was coming. And let me read this. I want you all to pay very close attention. This is different accounts of our forefathers meeting Hamashiach Yahushai when he came down to earth in the bodily form of a man. He didn't just get here when he became the form of Yahushai Hamashiach. He came before. He came in different forms. He was the pillar of fire by night. He was the cloud by day. He was the burning bush. That's why he said, I will be what I will be. Ahaya Ashar Ahaya. He didn't say that's my name. He said my name is Yahweh. He said this is my remembrance forever. He said that in multiple places. He said Zakaria. He said this is my Zakar. This is my memorial, my remembrance. Okay. So the point of saying all that is to say our foreparents knew of his coming. Now let's read this real quick. This is, man, I hate not having glasses. I hate that I have to use glasses. Okay. I'm going to try to bring it up on the screen and see if that'll help with you all seeing it and with me seeing it. It's beautiful to have it documented in my heart. It's beautiful to have it documented in the book. But let me see if I can show you all. Eusebius Ecclesiastical Histories, chapter number 2, summary of the pre-existence and divinity of our Savior and Lord Jesus Christ. That was a lot. Okay. Okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. Now all I have to do is find the section and the pages. All right, so okay, so now let me find the section. So I'll get the link and I'll share it with you. So this is what we're reading from: summary of the pre-existence and divinity of our Savior and Lord Jesus Christ. All right, this is in a book called Church History by Eusebius. All right, a Pamphylius. All right, Eusebius was another master historian that's from our nationality. Okay, so when I try to refer to our brother, I'm going to share this video with Brother Corey because he said so many things that were wrong. And I told him when I was talking, I said, sometimes I don't reply to you because the things that you say are just incorrect. All right. So the scripture says, answer not a fool in his folly. But then the scripture says, answer fool in his folly, lest he think himself wise. Lest he think himself wise. So sometimes I didn't answer him. Sometimes I did answer him. I am not calling him a fool, but I am applying the scripture. So with that being said, you know, I referred Eusebius to him, and what he did was he went on a smear campaign, not only to try to disprove my own character, but try to disprove Israelites or, you know, historians that are of great validity. All right, that are of great validity. So here's the link to Eusebius. It's in here. Anybody can find it. All right, and please, when you go back and check out these videos, check out these links that I send. Because in the process of sending these links, what I'm trying to do is share the information with you so you can find it on your own. We like to raise fellow teachers, okay? That's our objective, is to raise fellow teachers, okay? So let's get to this real quick. We're going to get to, this is, let's read down. We're going to get to, said wickedness overwhelmed, nearly seeds of piety were sown. Okay, bear with me, family. I'm going to find it for you so that I can read it for you. Okay. Okay, so let's start at no languages. Okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. So we're going to scroll down. Now, this means that you have to pay very close attention and don't get distracted. I'm only going to read. I'm not going to do a breakdown yet. But pay very close attention. Don't get distracted. Don't be a looky-loo, a fly-by-night Israelite. Be here to actually study, learn, and grow so you can take this information and share it with others. The scripture says to prove all things. I have no problem proving things. Sometimes just that circumstance or my time doesn't allow it. So when I do speak, my time is worth listening to, in my opinion. All right. So let's start with this, and I want everybody to hear this. I would love it, man. I would love it if Brother Corey or Brother Mashiach could be on here. They need to start being on classes when I'm speaking so they can listen to me. All right. And then we can build together as a nation. So, you know what? I have to start from one. In order for you all to understand, I have to start from one. Okay, so let's read. Since in Christ there is two manifold nature, and the one, and so far as he is thought of as power. So there's a two manifold nature, all right? One nature, he's thought of as the power, as the Most High, resembles the head of the body, while the other may be compared with the feet. So, and so far as he, for the sake of our salvation, let me see. Okay. Trying to make the screen comfortable for my eyes. Insofar as he, for the sake of our salvation, put on human nature with the same passions as our own. So Yahushua is known as being the power. He's known as being God. He doesn't call himself the Most High. He gives that title to his father, Yahweh. He says he comes to do his father's will. He references his father, but Yahushua is God. He is power. He is the power that is up under his heavenly father. All right. So they're not one and the same. Just like my son, he is not me. And if you ask him, he'd be like, no, my Abba said I can't. My Abba said, or no, my Abba. No, Abba. Yo, Abba. Hey, Shalom, Abba. So my Banyam give me reverence, just like your sons should give you reverence, just like Yahushua gave his father reverence. Right? Now watch this. So he is known in as far as though he is thought of as power, right? Now watch this. And so far as he, for the sake of our salvation, put on human nature with the same passions as our own. The following work will be complete only if we begin with the chief of the lordiest events of his history. In this way will the antiquity and divinity of Christianity be shown to those who suppose it of recent and foreign origin. So the only way we can prove Yahushua is who he is, the only way we can prove that our nationality is not a new nationality, is if we go all the way back to the beginning. And imagine that it appeared only yesterday. No language is sufficient to express the origin and the worth, the being and the true and the nature of Mashiach. Wherefore also the divine spirit says in the prophecies, who shall declare his generation? Nobody can. We weren't there. We can't declare Yahushua's generation. The spirit, Yahushua made the spirit of wisdom. You don't believe me? Read the beginning of Ecclesiasticus. Wisdom wasn't even there until Yahushua made it. Yahushua is the fountain of wisdom. For none knoweth the Father except the Son. Neither can anyone know the Son adequately except the Father alone, who hath begotten him. For who besides the Father could clearly understand the light which was before the world? Nobody. Yahushua was the light before the world. Man, there's so many scriptures I want to. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, KJV. Ecclesiasticus, chapter 1, KJV. Man, all praise the Most High. I got to keep this phone on, man. This is my T-Mobile phone. I just got this account, man. And this Wi-Fi is, this hotspot is working good because where I'm at, I don't have hotspot. What we're doing right now is working off of this cell phone. And I've been in places to where I had to stop doing videos because it was so trashy because I was working off a different service. But this is going really great, man. All praise. Now, check this out. Let's get to this. All right. This is an excellent time to pause that. All right. Now, just looking at the divinity of Yahushua, the spirit of wisdom, okay? The spirit of wisdom and Yahushua in their relationship, and how Yahushua was before the spirit of wisdom. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 24. For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and going through all things by reason of her pureness. Look at this. For she is the breath of the power of Yahweh. The power of Yahweh is Yahushua, and the pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no defiled thing fall in unto her. All of this is pointing to Yahushua, for she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of Yahweh, and the image of his goodliness, of his goodness. The spirit of wisdom is like the bride of Yahushua. The spirit of wisdom is like the twin sister of Yahushua. The spirit of wisdom was made as a mirror reflection of the goodness of Yahweh, which is Yahushua. You understand that? Look at this. I know that might be heavy, but did you hear it? Verse 28, for Yahweh loveth none but him that dwelleth with wisdom. You see that? Look at this, verse 30, for after this cometh night. After this life comes death. For after this cometh night. but vice shall not prevail against wisdom. And this verse right here is what cut me to the core, that made me stop smoking weed, because I used to smoke weed. Now I make weed, cannabis products at my leisure when I want to, but not like before. I had pounds of weed sitting around the house, and my children knew where it was at. They knew not to touch it. They knew, look, I taught them about it. I used to have pounds of cannabis, and it was just sitting right up where it was sitting at. When people came in my house, they'd be like, yeah, that's cannabis. Would you like some? And what I found out was that me smoking cannabis was this word right here. It was a vice. So if you're an Israelite, you still smoking weed, you got to stop. Vice, etymology. Vice, definition. Vice, KJV dictionary. And we're going to go to our favorite website. One of my favorite websites is right here, Online Etymology Dictionary. Online Etymology Dictionary. This website is code. I learned about it from a pastor who was just a good teacher. Check this out. Moral fault. You see that? So we cut right there to the core. It says what? Vice shall not prevail against wisdom. Moral fault shall not prevail against the spirit of a woman who was made by Yahushua before the world was made. If I got a vice, when I smoke, I understand the scriptures better. Hey, when I smoke, it's like the scriptures come to life. It's like I can see, hey, you know what? I wouldn't even have thought about that if I wasn't high. That's fake. That's coming to the Most High another way. And I'm telling you that from a person who used to partake in it. Vice, moral fault. Look at this. Wickedness, fault, failing, defect, irregularity, misdemeanor. All right. Look at this. Blemish, imperfection, offense, defect, both in physical and in moral sense. Cold cut. And there's elders that's in the truth that I went and ministered with. I was like, yo, Zaquan, I'm still smoking weed, man. What's your thoughts, man? What's your thoughts, Zaquan? Talk to me, man. Well, brother, you shouldn't be smoking. But what you can do is, it's a plant that, you can use for better medicinal purposes. And, but you shouldn't be smoking, brother. You're defiling your temple. And the elders cut me to the core, but they was gentle with me. And I'm here to tell you today, right now, the spirit of wisdom does not operate with you when you are sober-minded the same way as when you're operating in a vice. And I'm so very grateful to say that, oh, praise Yahweh, it ain't nothing for me to not smoke now. Can I make you some amazing brownies? No, because I can't cook. But can I make some great liquid and all kind of other stuff? Yeah, I can make some good products. I can make some good medicinal purposes. But we are not, I agree, we're not supposed to be smoking because it can become a vice. Look at this, vice. Come on, man. Vice, an immoral or evil habit or practice. Man, roll up another one. Roll up another one. Light it. Smoke. That's a vice. And take it from somebody who practiced out of foolishness and learning and wisdom. Ecclesiastes chapter 1 KJV. I practiced, all right, as the preacher, King Solomon. Here, let me see this. All right, one thing I've been, other thing have been, there's no remnants for thing. The preacher I gave myself. Check this out. Wisdom of Ecclesiastes, not Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 13. I gave my heart to seek and to search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. So when I was smoking cannabis, when I was partaking in cannabis, I purposefully was like, you know what, let me see how this works for me. And I found out that it don't work. I had respiratory issues. Couldn't run as much as I used to. I praise Yahweh that I can breathe better now. But listen, you're a liar if you say you in the truth and you smoke weed and your breath is as strong as it used to be. It's not. You're a liar. You a liar. We get winded by smoking. There's no way around it. I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. This sore travail hath Allahia given to the sons to be exercised therewith. I have seen all works that are done under the sun, and behold, it is vanity and a vexation of spirit. You see that? That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanton cannot be numbered. I communicated with my own heart, saying, Lo, I am come to great estate, and have gotten more wisdom than all they that have been before me in Jerusalem. Yet my heart had great experience of wisdom and knowledge. Now look at this. And I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. And I perceived that this also is a vexation of spirit. So I actually had this scripture in mind when I was smoking weed in the truth. And I praise Yahweh that I got my answer. My answer is that vice shall not prevail against wisdom. So if you're in the truth and you're still smoking cannabis, man, listen, there's a thousand knives at your jugular. All right. King Solomon knew the virtue of all roots. All right. And if you're in the truth, and if you still need to learn and find out, and if you need to test, if you need to see for yourself, here you go. We got ECCL, Ecclesiastes. This is chapter 1. Okay. Now you can look that verse up. All right. Because this is what I had to do. I had to study this verse for myself. And I found out for myself that this does not work for me. Okay. So let's go back to it. So vice definition. Oh, that's once. Oh, my bad. Let me get. I don't know why I spelled once. All right. So again, vice shall not prevail against wisdom. Okay. Immoral conduct, depraved, degrading. All right. Behavior. All right. Okay. Sexual immorality, especially prostitution. A particular form of depravity, a fault, defect, or shortcoming. Okay, so this is just from dictionary.com. I'm going to go back to the scriptures because I don't want to spend too much time over here. Let's go ahead and close etymology. Let's close Ecclesiastes. All right. So Ecclesiasticus. Okay. So Ecclesiasticus verse 1, showing that wisdom was in the beginning, and Yahweh only loves those who wisdom loves. Okay. So understand that. All right, Ecclesiasticus chapter 1. All right, Ecclesiasticus chapter 1. That's the okay. All right. Ecclesiasticus chapter 1, verse 8. There is one wise and greatly to be feared, Yahweh sitting upon his throne. He created her and saw her and numbered her and poured her out upon all his works. She is with all flesh according to his gift, and he hath given her to them that love him. You see that? So Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7 tells us what? That Yahweh only loves those. See that? For Allahiyah loveth none but them that dwell with wisdom. All right. Now let's go back to Ecclesiasticus chapter 1, verse 9. He created her and saw her and numbered her and poured her out upon all his works. She is with all flesh according to his gift, and he hath given her to them that what? That love him. The fear of Yahweh is honor and glory and gladness and a crown of rejoicing. The fear of Yahweh maketh a merry heart and giveth joy and gladness and a long life. Whoso feareth Yahweh, it shall go well with him as at the last, and he shall find favor in the days of his death. You see that? To fear Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom, and it was created with the faithful in the womb. She hath built an everlasting foundation with men, and she shall continue with their seed. She filleth all their houses with things desirable, and garners with her increase. The fear of Yahweh is a crown of wisdom, making peace and perfect health to flourish, both which are the gifts of Allahiyah, and it enlargeth their rejoicing that love him. Wisdom raineth down skill and knowledge of understanding, and exalted them to honor that hold her fast. I had to quit smoking weed. The Most High gives me my skills through the spirit of wisdom. It's not that I smoke and then I understand something or I figure it out or I get revelation. I was looking at my own eyes when I was smoking. I'm like, damn, I look high. Like I'm looking at my own eyes. I'm like, I don't like the way my eyes look. I'm looking at other people. I'm like, oh yeah, you got the spirit of weed in your eyes. You got weed smoking eyes. Oh yeah, that ain't for me. So in the process of practicing Ecclesiastes chapter 1. I practiced folly, and I seen that it didn't work. And I seen that Yahweh loveth none but them that dwelleth with wisdom. Look at this. For she is more beautiful. Look at this. For she is more beautiful than the sun, and above all the order of the stars. Being compared with light, she is found before it. Think about that. Being compared with light, the spirit of wisdom is found before it. Come on, man. After this cometh light, but vice shall not prevail against wisdom. So if you still smoking weed, you performing acts that are against the spirit of wisdom. Okay. You're performing acts that are against the spirit of wisdom. Yahweh helped me. He fixed me. He rebuked me. And he also showed me that. Now let's go back to this original point. He also showed me that Yahushai was here from the beginning. The spirit of wisdom was here from the beginning. This is what brings us back to Eusebius Ecclesiastical Histories. Now, look, I know that my studies ain't for the faint-hearted. I know that I go in. So if you don't listen to everything that I'm saying, you're only going to get half of the story. The scripture says hear the whole matter. My studies ain't for the weak, you know, because I know how Yahweh is giving me to understand things. And I pray that, you know, those of you that are listening, that you will hear and that you will understand also. By Shema Mashiach Yahushua. All right, so listen to this. So now we're back in the book of Eusebius Ecclesiastical Histories. We're in book number 2. All right, we're in section 3. Now watch this. For who beside the Father could clearly understand the light which was before the world? Get it? So it has to be Yahushai. All right, the intellectual and essential wisdom which existed before the ages, the living word which was in the beginning with the Father, and which was power. The first and only begotten Alahaya, which was before every creature and creation, visible and invisible. The commander-in-chief of the rational and immortal host of heaven, the messenger of the great council, the executor of the Father's unspoken will, the creator with the Father of all things, the second cause of the universe after the Father. Do y'all see how all of this is pointing to and talking about Yahushai? Do you see how all of this is talking about the glory of Yahushai? All right. The true and only begotten Son, the Lord and power and King of all created things, the one who hath received dominion and power with divinity itself, and with might and honor from the Father, as it is said in regard to him in the mystical passages of the scripture. Such speak of his divinity. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Yahweh, and the Word was Alahaya. All things were made by him, and without him was nothing made. Isn't that beautiful? Did y'all see all of that? Now that's how you give props to the great King. That's how you give props to the Master, to the Messiah. Okay. Now let's read down. I had to make the screen larger. This too, the great Masha, Moses, teaches when, as the most ancient of all the prophets, he describes under the influences of the divine spirit, the creation and the arrangement of the universe. Now, I want to let y'all know something too. There was another prophet that was there with Masha. He was a prophet unto the Gentiles. What was the name of the prophet that was not equal to Masha, but he was a opponent to Masha? He was knowledgeable. He could prophesy with his eyes open. He could stand there and he knew how to give offerings to Yahweh. And he would start spit. He would be like, I ain't gonna say some of the stuff, because if I tell y'all some of the stuff that he said, then you have, what was the name of the prophet that was not equal to Masha, but he was Masha's contemporary? There were two great last prophets. Not saying the last of all, but two great last prophets. One of them was named Masha, was the prophet of Yahweh. And then you had another prophet. What was his name? All right. He ended up being put to death because he taught the world how to defeat the children of Israel temporarily. I'll give you that as a clue. All right. So this is Masha. So somebody put the answer in there. He declares that the maker of the world and the creator of all things yielded to Christ himself. So even Masha is telling us that the creator of all things, he yielded and gave his story to his son. He said, hey, Bon, go turn the car on for me. Hey, Bon, take these. Here's the keys. I'm going to sit right here on the couch, and I want you to go turn the car on for me. Not only did Yahushua turn on the car, he pulled the car out the driveway. He put the car in front of the house. He made sure that the car was clean. He put the car on some 20s with some switches and some tinted windows, and then said, "Hey, Ava, I pulled the car out." All praise. I like what you did there, Bon. Hey, turn it up. Turn that boom bap up for me. I like cars with system, tinted windows, all that good stuff. That's my style. You know, right now, I got to get built back up to it. But I like all that stuff. Like to me, it's a vanity, but to me, it's such a fun. I go ride by myself. Had a system banging, quiet, banging. That's weird. I be banging Bangman Brothers or all right. But anywho, so watch this. So he declared that the maker of all the world and creation of all things yielded to Christ himself, and to none other than his own clearly divine and firstborn word. Do you see how all of this is pointing to Hamashiach? Now, why am I reading this? Because the point of reading all this is to show you that Abraham knew that he was dealing with the great king. That's why Hamashiach Yahushai said in the book of John chapter 8, he said, Yahushai said unto them, "Verily, verily, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am." And the people got mad. But you have other writers, other historians who knew that Yahushai was before Abraham. All right, now watch this. And another of the prophets confirms speaking this in the hymns as he follows. He spake and they were made. He commanded and they were created. He here introduces the Father, maker and ruler of all, commanding with a kingly nod. And second to him, the divine word, none other than the one who is proclaimed by us, carrying out the Father's commandments. So the ancients of Israel knew that there was a power that was working under Yahweh. We knew that there was a power that was working under the great celestial king of everything. Okay, now let's read down. Okay. Nor is it admissible to suppose that the theophanies recorded were appearances of subordinate angels. All right. So it's not good for us to think that the angels that just appeared to our fathers, Abraham, that appeared to Joshua, when the angel was standing there with the sword and the angel said, "I am," Joshua said, "Are you with us or are you against us?" The angel said, "Neither. I am the Lord of hosts. I am the Lord of the army." That's Yahushai. That's not a regular angel. So it's not admissible for us to suppose that these recorded appearances of subordinate angels and ministers of Yahweh, for whether any of these appeared to men, the scriptures did not conceal that fact, but calls them by name, not Allahia nor Lord, but angels, as it is easy to prove by numberless testimonies. Now let's scroll down. All right. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and read that. Let's scroll down. Proceed the same words. Joshua is the same, certain. All right, which the Lord created in the beginning, the divine word, the gospel preached to us immediately beginning. Okay. All right. Daniel the prophet. All right. Now look. Okay. So here we go. For instance, Daniel the prophet, under the influence of the divine spirit, seeing his kingdom at the end of his time, was inspired thus to describe the divine vision in a language fitted to human comprehension. For I beheld, he says, unto the thrones were placed, and the ancients of days did sit, whose garment was as white as snow, and the hairs of his head pure like wool. His throne was a flame of fire, and his wheels burning fire. A river flowed before him, thousands upon thousands, thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. He appointed judgment, and the books were open. So we know that this is Yahushai HaMashiach. We know that this wasn't because remember, no man can see the Son, no man can see the Father but the Son. So we know that only Hamashiach Yahushai has appeared to our forefathers, has appeared to Noah, has appeared to Moses, has appeared to Jacob, the angel that wrestled with Jacob, okay, has appeared to Daniel. So this is Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. When the time frame, and we're going to read that, when the time frame of Abraham, now let's read this, watch this. When the time frame of Abraham was there, then we know that it was Yahweh Shai that was dealing with Abraham. Watch this. For instance, Yahweh Elohayanawa, it is said appeared, for it is, for instance, Adon Elohaya, it is said appeared as a common man to who? And who is this week's Torah portion about? To Abraham, while he was sitting at the oak of Mamre. And Abraham immediately falling down, although he saw a man with his eyes. So Abraham wasn't one that was just like, our father Abraham was a king killer. Our father Abraham put kings down, all right, for the ones who he loved. He wasn't a tyrant. Abraham sat at the oak of Mamre, which was an intersection. It was an interpass. And anybody who came, Abraham would wash your feet. Abraham will offer you some food. Abraham would be like, "Hey, Ahab, go kill a baby calf, and let's feed our brother that's walking past." All right, and then you can go ahead and go your way. Our father Abraham was good to all people, including Goyim. Abraham had Goyim. He had Gentiles on his team along with him. Abraham had Gentile friends. Some of my best friends are Gentiles. When I say Gentile, that means people that are not from our nationality. They're strangers, they're aliens. Just like when it comes to them, I'm a Gentile to them. I'm an alien or a stranger to them. But the point is to show that our father Abraham, he knew how to deal with all people. When Abraham seen this man coming, though, immediately falling down, although he saw a man with his eyes, nevertheless worshiped him as Elohaya and sacrificed to him as Elohaya, as Adon, and confessed that he was not ignorant of his identity, where he uttered the words, "Lord and judge of all the earth, will thou not execute righteous judgment?" So Abraham seen this man, boom, hit his face. He said, Elohaya. He said, Adon. He said, Lord. And then we were standing there, and Elohaya, Yahushai, Elohaya, now Yahushai was talking to him. Yahushai was like, "I'm coming to tell you that you're going to give birth to a son." Oh, we're going to have a son. We're going to have a son. I'm an old man. My wife is old. We're going to have a son. I'm also here to tell you that I'm going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, did the angel that was talking with Yahushai destroy Sodom and Gomorrah? No, he did not. There were two other angels that went and destroyed. They were angels. Yahushai was above them. He was the commander of them. All these stories have been here throughout all this time. It was just never put to us together how it was, how it is. You got the commander in chief and you got the two soldiers with him. And the commander in chief stayed behind and talked to Abraham. The two soldiers, they went ahead and went to Sodom and Gomorrah to do their thing. So the point of saying all this is to know and to understand that even in this book, which is called Ecclesiastical Histories, we see that our forefathers, they knew that our forefathers understood that these people, there you go. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Khan. Our forefathers, we knew that Hamashiach Yahushai, we knew that this angel was there with us. And this angel was the master, was the commander in chief, was the great king himself. So we've never been under, as a culture, as a custom. There, man, look at them great answers, man. Look at them great answers, man. Amen, man. Well, almost. It wasn't Aaron, but that was a great answer. Because I can see what you're saying. I can see what you're saying. That's a great answer. But Balaam was he was a prophet to the Gentiles. Now, let's give glory and credit to the Most High for the answer that he gave to our brother Yedidiah, man, because Aaron was, and I kind of gave a broad answer, and a learned person such as yourself would say Aaron. So salute to you for your excellent answer. The answer I was looking for was Balaam, even though Aaron was a very powerful minister along with them. All right. The prophet to the Gentiles that was there during the time of Abraham was Balaam. All right. Balaam was the He said, "Con, that's right, Balaam. I spoke to Excellent answer, King. So Balaam, man, man. Yeah, you're right, Doc. Man, you're right, Doc. That's still me though. So yeah, so he was the one that was and Balaam, he could prophesy with his eyes open. Just read Numbers chapter 20 through 22. Balaam had skills. He knew Balaam's father was cold with witchcraft, but Balaam was cold with it. So and then the Most High even dealt with him. The Most High deceived him too. Remember, the scripture says, if a man is deceived, it is Yahweh who has deceived him. Okay. So but just to read that and go through that real quick, I encourage everybody, man. You mean we're students of our culture, of our nationality. Get this book, Eusebius' Ecclesiastical Histories. All right, Eusebius's Ecclesiastical Histories. I've been promoting this book for a long time. And again, I'm not against other sources of information. It's just that if I'm with a source of information, I have to be able to prove that source of information. Okay, and Eusebius can be proven. Okay, when I looked up while I was studying Enoch and other books like Jubilees, I was like, okay, well, where's the antiquities that prove that this book is validated? But to get off of that subject, so let's go back to real quick and throw out for everybody sticking there, man, for staying strong. So to go back to it, the gospel portion we read, all right, and the gospel portion says what? The gospel portion says, your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it and was glad. Then the Jews said unto him, thou art not yet 50 years old. Negro, you ain't even 50 yet, and thou hast seen Abraham? Yahushua said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am. So doesn't that make more sense to know that Yahushua is the commander in chief that was there with Yahweh, that was there with Abraham? All right. Then they took up stones to cast at him, but Yahushua hid himself and went out of the temple, going through the midst of them, and so passed by. All right. Now, I will say this, some documents, you know, I like to read, even though they don't have the weight that I would like for them to have. You know, even though they don't have the weight that I would like them to have, you know, like the book of Jasher. You know, the book of Jasher, I look at it as a comic book. It's very entertaining, okay? But I can't prove it like I can prove, like the Torah can be proved, or like Josephus can be proved, or like Eusebius can be proved, or like Isidore of Seville can be proved, or like St. John of Damascus can be proved, you know, or like Pliny the Elder, not the younger, because Pliny the Younger was an Israelite murderer. Pliny the Elder, you know, their writings can be validated and proven, you know. But I will say this, the book of Jasher is very entertaining. There's another book that's called The Apocalypse of Abraham, okay? The Apocalypse of Abraham, very entertaining, all right? And so are the other books, you know, but we just want to make sure that when we read, when we study these books, that we do it with a circumspect mind. And if you're going to teach from them, then you have to be able to validate them. And if you can't validate them, then you have to give a notification like, hey, I can't prove this book's validity, but here's some good information from inside of it, okay? All right, so anyway, so let's get to it. This week's Torah portion, Genesis chapter 12, starting at verse Achad, verse 1. At this time, I'm going to turn off my screen. All right, Philo, yeah, that's another one. Yeah, you got that one. You got that one, Saint. Yeah, Head Bust Central, man. You got that. Philo is another great one. All right. For those of you who don't know, Philo is a contemporary of Flavius Josephus, and Philo gave wonderful information pertaining to, matter of fact, Philo, he put his life on the line and stood before Gaius. He stood before Caligula, which Caligula was a madman. You know, Caligula would come to your wedding, rape you in front of your wife, then would rape your wife, then leave money for you, then would come back and say you owe him money, and then would put you and your whole family in jail, in prison. Caligula was a madman, but Philo stood up and told the truth of our nation and told the gospel in Caligula's face. All right, so Philo is another extra historian, extra wonderful, historian. All right, so let's go ahead and get to reading the Torah portion. All right, for all of those of you who have ears, let them hear. All right, Genesis chapter 12, verse Achad, verse 1. Now Yahweh has said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto the land that I will show thee. Now, there are extra biblical books that talk about events that happened before this, and some of those extra biblical books would make such statements as, but not limited to, Yahweh had sent a lightning bolt and destroyed Abraham's father's house, Terah, because of the idols, that Yahweh wanted Abraham to leave out of the land of Ur, the land of the Chaldeans, so that he can help him to grow, and that Abraham was actually an idol salesman. His father made idols, but Abraham sold the idols that he made. All right, so there's other books that can kind of give you like some backdrop story, but in the process of reading those books, you would have to be able to prove that those stories go along with the Torah. Okay, now on some spare time, those books are really entertaining. They're very fun. All right, but just to stick with the Torah, let's read on. Verse 2. And I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curse thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. You hear that? This is something that's very important to pay attention to. Yahweh said in Abraham, shall all families of the earth be blessed. All the Goyim, all the Gentile nations shall be blessed. So this means in the new kingdom, it's not going to be a kingdom of just Israelites only bumping into each other. Shalom, shalom, hey, shalom, hey, shalom, shalom alaikum, shalom, hey, shalom, hey, shalom. It's not just going to be a bunch of Israelites just turning in circles, bumping into each other. We're going to rule the Gentiles. We're going to rule the Goyim, but they're going to be blessed because we're going to be in righteous rulership. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, here goes something else, man. The Most High said that he would bless them that bless us, and he would curse them that curse us. This is what's currently happening with the whole Kanye situation. All right, they're cursing themselves. Okay, they're cursing themselves for them not confessing, them not admitting that we're the Eladim of Yashala, for them afflicting, not only Kanye, but those of us who have been professing his name. So they're cursing themselves. Let them go through with it. Let them do what they're supposed to do. Because the Father also prophesied what's going to happen to their children in the future. You got to read the Bible to get that. Genesis chapter 12, verse 4. So Abraham departed as Yahweh had spoken unto him, and Lot with him. And Abraham was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. Verse 5. And Abram took Sarai, his wife, and Lot, his son, his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran. Now, I'm going to say this real quick, and this is something that, you got to be a student, you got to be a studier to catch this. It says, and all the souls that they had gotten in Haran. Well, that's a very peculiar statement to me. What that would do is that would make me want to go, well, where did they get these souls from? Were they doing like Sing Song on Mortal Kombat? Your soul is mine. They were collecting souls. Were they doing fatalities? No, they weren't collecting souls. There were people that were joined unto them. But now my question is, if there were people that was joined on to Lot and Abraham, where did these people come from? Were these people gifts? Did these people just pop up out of nowhere? Where did these people come from that were given unto Abraham? Where did these people come from? I mean, was he a door-to-door salesman? And people's like, you know what? I want to follow you, Abraham. Where did these people come from that followed Abraham? That's something that I would want to know. So that's why I look up in the certain annals. And if it goes with the scriptures, I'm like, you know what? That sounds good. But if I can prove it, I'll be like, yo, this is it. All right. And the souls that they had gotten in Haran, who were these souls they had gotten in Haran? And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. And Abraham and Abram, because he's not Abraham yet, he's Abram. So and Abram passed through the land unto the place of Shechem, into the plain of Moreh, and the Canaanites was in the Canaanite was then in the land. Verse 7. And Yahweh appeared unto Abram and said, unto thy seed will I give this land. And there builded he an altar unto Yahweh and worship unto him. Now it doesn't tell us that Yahweh had appeared unto Sarai. It doesn't say that. But here's the thing, that Sarai trusted. She followed her husband. She wasn't like, well, I got to go do this. I'm going to go do this over here. Well, that's what the Lord got you doing, but I need to go take care of this. No, Sarai left everything behind and followed her husband, Abram. And some of these women don't got that Sarai spirit. They say they do. They claim they do. They talk like they do. But when it comes to following their husband, they go every other direction except for the direction that their husband is going. And I've seen that. I've experienced that. I've went through that. You know, I've been there. And what you have to do as men of Yasha'alium is that you being the sons of Abram, you being the sons of Abraham, you have to remember your real rib, Sarai, the real spirit of Sarai, the one that will follow you, okay? That's the one that you take heed, that you pay attention to, that you give your affection, your time, your correction. Give your correction to everybody. But remember, Sarai followed Abraham. She followed Abram before he became Abraham. And some of you men are on the verge of becoming Abraham. Some of you men right now, you're in your Abram state. You're in your leaving the land of your father state, and you're on your way to become Abraham. But right now, you're in your Abram state. And some of you women, you're on your way to become Amazakwan Sarai. Some of you women are on your way to become Amazakwan Sarai. But remember, you got to go through the process. You got to go through the steps. You got to go through the journeys, because this woman followed her husband across countries. Not cities, not states. She followed him through the valley of the shadow of death. Our grandmother was kidnapped because she was so fine. And she didn't say, man, look at this Negro, man. This Negro don't know what he's doing. He don't know what he's doing. I'm gonna go over here and do this. Nah, she stuck with it. She followed her husband. Verse 8, and he removed from thence unto the mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west and Hai on the east. And there he built an altar unto Yahweh, and called upon the name of Yahweh. And Abram journeyed, going on still toward the south. And there was a famine in the land. That's something to keep in mind. So it wasn't grits and gravy. It wasn't just all good. You know, grits and gravy is good. You got some biscuits with it, some lamb sausage, grits and gravy slap. But it wasn't just all easy. It wasn't just all grits and gravy. At the same time, Amazakwan Sarai, our grandmother Sarah, she still traveled with her husband through a famine. Okay, you see that? Through a famine, still traveled. And there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Melchizedek, into Egypt, and sojourned there, for the famine was grievous in the land. And it came to pass, when he was come near to enter into Melchizedek, that he said unto Sarai, his wife. So now watch what our father Abraham says. He says, behold now, I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Look, baby, I know you fine. Baby, you fine as wine. I know you gorgeous, baby. Look, you got hips, dips, lips. Turn around, jump back, kiss myself. Girl, you fine. Therefore, it shall come to pass when the Egyptians, when the Hamites, when the Canaanites, with their lustful, devious spirits, when they shall see thee, that they shall say, this is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. So what does that tell us? That also tells us that the Canaanites knew the law, that they could not lay with another man's wife. But if she's a widow, but if she's dead, oh, now she fair game. Abraham out walking one day, whoop, fall into a trap with a bunch of spikes in it. Why? Because them Hamites done laid some traps. Done laid a snare up on Abraham, taking a sip of his morning tea, fall over dead, foaming out the mouth. Abraham like, nah, look, you got to say that you my sister. Because if you say that you my rib, they're going to kill me and they're going to kidnap you. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake. That it's going to go good for me because of you. So just say you my sister. And my soul shall live because of thee. Now, we have some people that are in different communities that say that Amazakwan Shara and that power, dang, I said Parazah, the Amazakwan Shara and that Abraham, that they were dishonest for this. Let me take a pause for the calls. What do you all say? Do you all, what is your stance? All right. What is your stance, Yasha Alim, Akim Mashbachayim? Do you all think that our father Abraham was dishonest for this? Because I'll tell you that there's writings, Flavius Josephus, Abraham, disassembling manner. There's writings, all right, that shows us that Abraham had a plan. Abraham had a plan. He was like, look, if we don't do this, then these Hamites is going to murder me and they're going to kidnap you. And that is going to be it. It's going to be over with. They're going to take you. They're going to do this to you. What are your thoughts on this? Do y'all think that Abraham was wrong, or do y'all think that Abraham was right about this? Let us hear your thoughts. All right, I'm going to yield the floor for a second. Type your comments in the room. And in the process of typing your comments in the room, we will share your thoughts and we will let the people see, what do you think? Was our mother wrong? Were they scandalous? I'm gonna take a pause for the calls for the community. Let the community speak. Let us hear your thoughts. We're here to hear from you. Has any of you ever done this? Have you ever went to the bar and was like, look, man, he trying to buy you a drink? Well, let him buy you 2 drinks then. Oh, he trying to buy you a drink? Man, he trying to buy me a drink. Oh, you want to buy you a drink? Okay, let him buy you a drink then. Have him buy you 2 drinks and bring him over here to me and come sit down next to me. Oh, this car salesman, he said he'll give me this car, this truck, this Jeep. You know, he said he'll give me a special deal because I'm so fine. Oh, you fine, huh? He'll give you a deal on it. Oh, okay. What do you women of Israel think? What do you women of Israel think? Have you ever been in a situation to where you knew that the situation was like, you know, I can bless my husband if I just. I don't know. I don't want to say nothing too out the way, but what do you daughters of Israel have to say about this? Anybody, anything? All right. Now, our father Abraham was greatly known. Okay. Our father Abraham was greatly known. Now, I'm going to help you out because I like antiquities. I like antiquities very much. And when it comes to antiquities, you have to know who are the writers of these antiquities. Okay. Now, one of the writers of these antiquities is Barsobus, and I'm going to share his name. Okay. And I'm going to share his name with you. All right. We got some comments. All praise. All praise. All praise. Okay. We got some. Okay. All right. I'm just saying, you know, I'm just saying. All right. Here's the name of a historian that you can look up. All right. Barosius. You can look him up. Okay. The sister said, a rib is a helpmate in everything, a supporter in everything. That's right. That's right. Hey, look, don't even tell him I'm your husband. All right. Don't even tell him I'm your husband. All right. We're just going to go ahead and work this out like this. Don't tell him I'm your husband, guy. Just listen. Am I not your brother? Yeah, I'm your brother. We got the same nation, same tribe. All right. The sister said, I think she was right to follow as she was obeying her head as well as following his lead. I think that's an excellent answer. That's an excellent answer. Both of these are excellent answers. All right. All right. Among wolves, the Messiah said we should be as crafty as serpents. Zaquan thought 5 steps ahead. Yeah, he did, didn't he? Didn't he think 5 steps ahead? All right. All right. Well, it doesn't seem like anybody else has any other answers right now. If you do, please post them in the room. You will be heard. All right. We're going to go back to the Torah portion. I want to show you all something real quick. So everybody make sure that you have your Flavius Josephus, your Antiquities of the Jews. All right. This is Flavius Josephus' Antiquities of the Jews. This is book number 1, chapter 8. It says that when there was a famine in Canaan, Abram went into Egypt, and after he had continued there a while, he returned back again. So let's see from Flavius Josephus' account, all right, how the story played out. Now, after this, there was a famine which had invaded the land of Canaan, and Abram had discovered that the Egyptians were in a flourishing condition. So Abraham was like, "Nah, we're gonna head this way, babe. You know, them Hamites over there, they got all the plants, they got all the water, they got food, they got substance. Come on, we ain't about to starve." He was disposed to go down to them. Disposed means he really didn't want to, but he had to. Both to partake of the plenty they enjoyed and to become an auditor of their priests. So Abraham had 2 reasons, as we see from Josephus' account. He said, look, let's go down here to, partake in what it is that they have, but also let's find out what it is that their Hamite priests say about Yahweh. Let me figure out what they're talking about. Let me see what they're saying. All right, let's run down here together. And to know what they said concerning the gods, designing either to follow them if they had a better notion than he, or to convert them into a better way. So even with this, our father Abram, he was like, I'm gonna look, if they know better than I know, I'm gonna rock with them. If they don't know better than what I know, I'm gonna teach them about the way of Yahweh, right? If his notions proven the truest, now seeing he was to take Sarai with him, he was afraid. Look at this. He was afraid of the madness of the Egyptians. Now, I'm going to tell y'all right now, my mashpachah, my akwatian, my daughters, man, they don't have permission to kick it with Hamites. Stay away from them. No hot, don't touch, icky, ill, nasty, filthy, McDirty. Don't talk to them. I'll talk to them. Matter of fact, move. All right, all that sly and slick conversation, we're not doing that. And you got to know. Listen, there's a song by a group called Bamboo Station. It's called Sense Your Enemies. You got to know, you got to be able to sense your enemies. You can't let your daughters, your women, your ribs, your aunties, your mothers go and talk to, speak with, deal with it. Listen, we have to be the representation. We have to be the ones who stand up and who speak for them. We're there for them for that cause. And they need to submit when it's time for us to do that. So Abraham was afraid of the madness of the Egyptian. Look at this, with regard to women, lest the king should kill him on the occasion of his wife's great beauty. He contrived this device. He pretended to be her brother and directed her in a dissembling way to pretend the same. You see that? So let me go ahead and copy paste this and let me put it in the group so you all can see this for yourselves. Write this down and document it. Okay. Abraham, our father Abram, he put this plan into play to preserve both of their lives because he said what? The king should kill him on occasion of his wife's great beauty. He contrived this device. He pretended to be her brother and did what? And directed her in a dissembling way to pretend the same. So what did our sister Ra'ashwan say? All right. What did our Aqua Ra'ashwan say? All right. Let's go back up. She said, I think she was right to follow as she was obeying her head as well as following his lead. The sister Ashaya was Shalamoth. A rib is a helpmate in everything, a supporter in everything. That's a good answer, man. To breathe is everything. That brother said to breathe is everything. That's right. Help him stay alive. That's right. To breathe is there. It's pretty important to be able to breathe. All right. Dissembling way to pretend the same. All right. Oh, that's from Josephus. Right. So those are some great answers. All right. So now let's go back to it and let's see. All right. And directed her in a dissembling way to pretend the same. For he said it would be for their benefit. Now, as soon as they came into Egypt, it happened as Abraham supposed it would. So as soon as they came into the land, here we go. Just like I thought. I knew it. I knew these Canaanites was going to be funny acting. For as the fame of his wife's beauty was greatly talked of, for which reason Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, would not be satisfied would not be satisfied with what was reported of her, but would needs see her for himself. I gotta see this woman. Wait, this woman from the land of Chaldean, she that bad? What you mean, officer? We see the woman is from the land of from the Chaldeans, and she is greatly beautiful, but she came with the man as her husband or not. The man could be our husband or he could be our brother. We will kill him and take him for himself. The man is a very powerful man. He has a lot of people with him. He has a lot of people with him. And if we need to be, we can take him for ourselves. So the Pharaoh said, you know what? I hear what you're saying, but I got to see her for myself. Now, if you have the Testament of Abraham sitting around randomly on your bookshelf, the Testament of Abraham is not a very long book. It's a very short book. You can even Google it and listen to it. But if you have it, just will be a good time to look at it. If you have the book of Jasher, which is more of a historical document than it is, than it is a book that goes into, science and mysticism. If you have the book of Jasher, just check out the book of Jasher on this subject. Check out the book of Flavius Josephus on this subject. Check out the book of Philo on this subject. Check out the book of the Apocalypse of Abraham on this subject. It's a very interesting read. All of them say the same things. I might wanted to take the woman because she was so beautiful. She was so beautiful, they wanted to take her for themselves and kill her husband. And was preparing to enjoy her. Look at this. Look at this. For which reason Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, would not be satisfied with what was reported of her, but would need see her himself, and was preparing to enjoy her. But Yahweh put a stop to his unjust inclinations. The water Yahweh, Hashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Our grandmother was not perverted. She was not touched. She was not raped. She was not defiled. By sending upon him a distemper and a sedition upon his government. All of the men of the government, all of the men couldn't get their penis up. They couldn't bear children. The women wasn't getting pregnant. What's wrong? Why does fine woman come into our community and now nobody can work? Can't nobody get their government? Something's wrong with our government now. And ask me where I got that information from. It comes from reading different sources. All right. And when he required of the priests how he might be freed from these calamities, they told him that this miserable condition was derived from the wrath of Yahweh. They was probably like, was derived from the wrath of Yahweh upon the account of the inclination to abuse the stranger's wife. He then, out of fear, asked Sarai, who are you? And who is this that I brought with her? Who are you? And who is the man that is with you? And when he had found out the truth, he excused himself to Abram, exposing, that supposing the woman was his sister, and that I suppose that the woman was your sister and not your wife. He set his affections on her as design and affinity with him by marrying her. I wanted to marry her. I love her so much. Abram, I love her so much. I want to marry her. This is your wife. Why did you not tell me she was your sister? But not as incited by lust to abuse her. He also made with him large presents in money and gave him leave to enter into the conversation with the most learned among the Egyptians. So not only did our mother Sarai not get raped, she was not defiled, she was given back to our father Abram. She was given back. Not only that, Abram got 2 drinks from the bar, baby. He ain't get 2 drinks from the bar. He got the whole bottle. He was like, take the bottle and take whatever you want to drink and do whatever you want to do and get away from me. Get you and your family. As a matter of fact, you go over here and go talk to the learned man of my community and you can go talk to them. Do not talk to me. So what happened was, after it was found out that Amazakwan Sarai was Abraham's actual wife, his actual rib, instead of being his wife, his actual rib, what happened was Pharaoh gave our father Abraham tons of money. He was tricking on him, gave him tons of money. And then after giving him tons of money, he also did what? he also gave him permission to go and talk to the wise men of Egypt. Now, the wise men of Egypt weren't wise at all. They were actually pretty foolish until our father Abraham came in and taught them stuff. So I'm going to read this part because I want you all to see that the wisdom of the Egyptians came from us. The Egyptians weren't wise themselves. They learned the knowledge of the constellations, the knowledge of the stars, where to place the pyramids. They learned all of that information from us, and then they mistreated us after our fathers passed away. Watch this. From which conversation his virtue, wait, hold on, let's start back up. But not as incited by lust to abuse her, so Pharaoh was actually in love with her. He also gave him a large present of money. So you see that, you daughters of Israel, man, y'all need to break bread with y'all husbands, okay? When your husband come through and, you know, so-and-so want to trick on you, man, you supposed to get that to your husband. Oh, he paying for this car? Oh, I'm going to get this car to my husband. Oh, this light bill? Oh, yeah, I got that money from him. Oh, this goes to my husband. Oh, I just got some gift cards from work. I need to get that to my husband. That's what Sarah did. Sarah gave her substance to her Adawan. She didn't say, I'm not going to give you nothing. I ain't going to pay for nothing. I ain't sharing nothing. What's mine is mine, and what's mine is mine. Man, that's how you can tell these women are daughters of Sarah in their spirit. They just like to represent it, but they don't do what Sarah did. What did Sarah do? What did Amazon should I do? She broke bread. He also gave him a large present of money and gave him leave to enter into the conversations with the most learned among the Egyptians, from which conversation his virtue and his reputation became more conspicuous than they had been before. For whereas the Egyptians were formerly addicted to different customs and despised one another's sacred and accustomed rites, they were very angry one with another on that account. Abram conferred with each of them. So don't be afraid to go back and forth with these Gentiles, man. Don't be afraid to argue your point. Don't be afraid to argue your point. If your point is in righteousness, is in Torah, your point is, you know, you got a good point with this scripture. This makes sense. Abram conferred with each of them, and confuting the reasonings they made use of, every one for their own practices, he demonstrated such reasonings were vain and void of truth, whereupon he was admired by them in those conferences as a very wise man and one of great sagacity when he discoursed on any subject he undertook, and this not only in understanding it, but in persuading other men also to assent to him. He communicated to them, look at this, our father Abraham taught them, what did he teach the Egyptians? Arithmetic, and delivered to them the science of astronomy. So listen, when you're looking at math, when you're looking at music, when you're looking at the study of the stars, this all came from our father Abram. This all came from our father Abraham. So when the other nations came about and they started talking about the good things that they think they know, X, Y, and Z, they learned this from our father Abraham. For before Abraham came into Egypt, they were unacquainted with those parts of learning, for that science came from the Chaldeans into Egypt. So what did our father Abraham be called? He was called a Chaldean. And is it lawful for you to call yourself a Chaldean? Absolutely. Abraham came from the land of Ur, or the land of the Chaldeans. So this is information, this is knowledge that we have, man. I don't give two spits of respect towards these Canaanites, Hamites, and their so-called knowledge. I don't give two spits of respect, none at all whatsoever. But I'll be cool so I don't come up out of my hookup. Because my real passion is to say, you know what? The Most High's judgment be upon you. And if the Father's will be done, he allow me to exact his judgment upon you. For those who have ears, let them hear what I mean. So arithmetic was delivered unto them, the science of astronomy. You see that? So it was us that taught them astronomy. It was us that taught them science. It was us that taught them mathematics, not the other way around. Our father Abraham dropped that jewel on them. Let's get back to it. Arithmetic, and delivered to them the science of astronomy. For before Abraham came into Egypt, they were unacquainted with these parts of learning, with those parts of learning. For that science came from the Chaldeans into Egypt, and from thence to the Greeks also. Let's go back to the Torah portion reading, and then we'll see that more so in the Torah. Genesis chapter 12, verse 14. And it came to pass that when Abram was coming to Egypt, the Egyptians beheld the woman, that she was very fair. The princes, which is the officers, these are the police that was walking around. The princes, the Shatarium, all right, the officers. The Shatarium also of Pharaoh saw her and commended her before Pharaoh. And the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. You see that? She was taken by force. She was willfully kidnapped by them and unwillfully removed by her. All right. Laquach. All right. That sounds hard. That sounds harsh. Laquach laya. Take. Laquach. Receive. Laquach. Take away. Laquach. Fetch. Laquach. Bring. Laquach. Get. Laquach. Take out. Laquach. Carry away. Laquach. Married. Laquach. Buy. Laquach. To take. Fetch. To lay hold of. Seize. Receive. Acquire such. Acquire by bringing. Marry. Take a wife. Snatch. Take away. You see that? So she was laquach. She was taken away. She was, look at this. She was stolen from. Let's read all the way down. And we're going to go down to Gesenius Hebrew lexicon, Chaldean lexicon. More frequently, chach, all right, or chach can be used. Chach, all right. Deuteronomy, all right, to be distinguished. Let's get the full entry. Look, to take. Lachach, lachwach, to take. So our grandmother was kidnapped. She was kidnapped. But that's also why I tell people, go through, and if you have these books, search out these books and these references and see how do they come about. You know, if you search out the Apocalypse of Abraham, what is it going to say? Is it going to be in agreement? If you search out, you know, the Testament of the Patriarchs, is it going to be in agreement? Okay. All right, so let's read on. So verse 15. So the princess also of Pharaoh saw her and commended her before Pharaoh. And the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. And he entreated Abram well for her sake. So he was nice to Abram. He was like, your sister is so very beautiful. Abram, you are my friend. You are my friend. We are friends, Abram, because I love your sister so very much. Your sister is so beautiful. I will entreat you very well. What do you want some money? Do you want some money, Abraham? Would you like to go where the learned man speak and you can go and sit with them, Abraham? Verse 16, and he entreated Abram well for her sake. And he, what did he do? And he had sheep and oxen and asses. Look at this. He was tricking on Abraham. He was tricking because his rib, Sarah, was so beautiful. I will give you anything because your sister is so beautiful. I will give you oxen and sheep and ass and manservants and maid servants. He gave our father Abraham slaves because our grandmother was so beautiful. And she asses and camels. And Yahweh brought a plague. And Yahweh plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarah, Abram's wife. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, what is that thou hast done unto me? Why didst thou not tell me that she is your wife? Why didst thou say, she is my sister? Why didst thou say that? Why did you say to me, she is my sister? Why do you tell me? Why do you tell me that? So I might have taken her to me for a wife. Now therefore, behold, thy wife, take her away and go away. Go away with your wife. Take your wife and leave right now. I can't help it but to read like that. It just makes sense to me. So, but here's the point, that Pharaoh, in this case, he wasn't a wicked dude. All right. So keep that in mind. He wasn't wicked. Because if he was, he would have took Sarah you know, by any means. He just would have, you know, yapped her up and been like, yo, you my woman. But instead, Pharaoh knew, thou shalt not commit adultery. So Pharaoh said what? He said, what is this thing that you've done? Why did you say she's your sister? I might have taken her and lied with your wife. He said, look, behold thy wife. He said, look, she's still your wife. This is your woman. I haven't laid with her. She's not defiled. He said, take her and go away. And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away and his wife and all that they had. Repeat after me. Kala Shara, the body of Yahweh, Na Aisha, Wana Shamai. All that Yahweh has said will we do and hear. All praise Yahweh by Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. All praise Yahweh by Shem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. The water for the reading of his word, the water for his understanding. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next section of Genesis, which is Abram and Lot. All right, so we're going to start with Genesis chapter Aman, Bashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai, Aman. All right, all praise. So we're going to go to Barashiath, Genesis chapter 13. All right, so Barashiath, Genesis chapter 13. Okay, and let's start our screen share so everybody can see together. All right, Barashiath, Genesis chapter 13. And Abram went up. Now, wait, before we get started reading, let me encourage everybody, when you get a chance, make sure that you go back and study this, okay? Go back and study this. And again, when you read from Josephus, what you end up seeing is you see that there is information that's there that, you know, it'll make you smile. It'll be like, yo, this is interesting. I'm glad I read that. You know, oh, this lines up with that. That makes sense. Okay, so you'll get some of that filler information. That filler information is good. All right, that filler information isn't bad. You know, it helps. It really helps. Okay, so let's go ahead and read on. All right, so Barashah, Genesis chapter 13, verse 1. And Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife and all that he had, and Lot with him, into the south. So they left undefiled. They left with they left with more servants, more slaves, more, because it don't say slaves, it says manservants and maid servants. So they left with more manservants and more maid servants than what they came with. All right. They left with more cattle, more animals, more everything than what they came with. And this was because of the wise counsel of the husband and the rib following her, Adawan following her husband, saying, okay, you know what? This is what we're going to do. What are we going to do, Ahab? You're going to say you my sister. I'm going to say I'm your sister. Yeah. You're going to say you my sister. And in the process of you saying you my sister, what we're gonna do is we're gonna rock in Yahweh's favor. You know, we're gonna, whatever it is that the Most High has for us, man, that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna get. You know, that we're gonna take it all. What you mean we're gonna take it all? We're gonna take it all. Whatever the Most High has for us, that's what we're gonna take. Okay. All right. So Genesis, so now we see they left out of the land and they left with more than what they came with. All praise. Barashah, Genesis, or in beginning, chapter 13, verse 1. And Abram went up out of Melchizedek, Egypt, he and his wife and all that he had, and Lot with him into the south. And Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold. Wonder how that happened. And he went, on his journey from the south, even unto Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Hai. All right, so even if there was a famine, they were straight. Unto the place of the altar which he had made there at the first, and there Abram called on the name of Yahweh. So we see he did an offering, he did a sacrifice. And Lot also, which went with him, had flocks and herds and tents, and the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great. so they could not dwell together. And there was strife between the herdsmen of Abram's cattle and the herdsmen of Lot's cattle. And the Canaanite and the Perizzite dwelled there in the land. Verse 8, and Abram said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, between my herdsmen and thy herdsmen, for we be brethren. Abraham was like, look, man, our what do you call them? Our employees are beefing. You know, they having strife, they having issues. Look, how about this? Let's not beef because we mashpacha, we family, so we shouldn't be having no problems. All right, it'd be you know what? It would just be better all together if we just go ahead and part those separate ways. I don't want nothing. I don't want no Torah breaking. I don't want nobody to have to get hurt around here. All right. For we are brethren. Verse 9. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take us to the left, then I will go to the right. Or if thou depart to the right hand, I will go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld the plain of Jordan, that it was watered everywhere, before Yahweh destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of Yahweh, like the land of Egypt, as thou comest unto Zor. Now, the issue with this is that it's not really an issue, but it's an understanding. So when the ark, let's see, let me show you all. Google Maps, world map. Okay, let's open up our world map real quick. Okay. So this is what we're looking at. Let me see where we're at. Where are we? Oh, we're supposed to be over here. Salakla, we're supposed to be over here. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. Now, after the flood covered the whole earth, Noah's Ark landed over here. All right. Noah's Ark landed Armenia. All right, so we're over in Armenia. All right. All right. So in Armenia is the land that is documented. All right. But we see that this is Eastern Turkey. So from Eastern Turkey, the waters of the flood covered the whole earth. So the waters ran down Syria, and all of this area right here, Egypt, was greatly populated with, you know, not only the children of Canaan, but with, you know, greenery, you know, with it was healthy. It was a lush land because the waters had flooded down. Now, our father Abram, he had came down from here, down from Ur, all right, in the land of the Chaldeans, all right. So our father Abram had came down from here. He traveled up, him and his family. All right, they went through the land, and then they came over here into Melchizedek. But the waters from the flood up here from northern Turkey, all right, had traveled down, and it watered the land. So this is the plains, and then from the plains, because this was an all flat area, from the plains, the waters came down, watered the land of Egypt, and it was very flourishing. All right, it was very flourishing. All right. Very lush is the word that I'm looking for. It's very lush lands. Okay, let's see if we can get this real quick. Let's get I'm thinking Telerad. I'm bugging. I'm thinking Telerad. Telerad is in Jerusalem. I'm thinking does anybody remember the name of the ark that's in the mountain that's in Turkey that the ark is on? Right now the name escapes me. Does anybody remember the name? Mount, not Mount Ebal, not Mount Nebo. In Turkey, Jebel El Musa. No, that's in Arab. That's in Arabia. What's the name of the ark that Noah rests on right now? Noah. What's the name of the mountain that Noah's ark rests on? Does anybody remember? The name is leaving my head right now. Baba Kushar, Rakhadash, Nathan La Anya, Nathan La Anya, Baba Kushar. How you doing? Ararat. Man, I love you so much. Tawada, thank you so much, my brothers. Mount Ararat. Ararat, Tawada. I asked for the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit gave me 2 brothers. 2, 3 witnesses. Thank you, brethren. All right, so let's get that real quick. All right. Now, actually, I think I spelled that incorrectly. Yeah, A-R-A-R-A-T. Tawada. A-R-A-R-A-T. Mount. Thank you. Thank you so much, brethren. Tawada Yahweh. Bashem Mashak Yahushua. Thank you, brethren. All right. Man, that's crazy, man. Look, it says what? Landmark volcano considered to be sacred. Wow. Considered to be sacred. I wonder why is it sacred? Y'all know why it's sacred. All right. Amen. Tawada, thank you, brethren. That's exactly what I was looking for. So Mount Ararat, which is over here in Turkey, where Noah's Ark landed. Of course, the waters receded. The waters came down. All right. The flood. Tawada, thank you so much, man. I appreciate having family members and brothers that I can minister with. You know, that can help me. You know, Tawada, thank you so much, man. I'm so grateful. So Mount Ararat, and yes, it is a sacred mountain. All right, is considered to be. Why? Because this is where Noah's Ark landed, and as we know, it's in Turkey. Now I'm gonna tell y'all this, which I love saying this. I was 20 minutes away from Noah's Ark when I was traveling through Turkey. We went over here to Istanbul, and Tawada Zakwan Parazah, Zakwan Nathaniel for their ministry, man. You know, I've been around the world with the elders. So I was 20 minutes away from Noah's Ark, and I'm like, I'm 20 minutes away from Noah's Ark. This is ridiculous, crazy. It's so beautiful. Thank you, Yahweh. So anyway, but the point of all that is to say, so from here, from Mount Ararat, where Noah's Ark rested, the floods came down, the waters receded, and then this land was all made flourishing and lush. Okay. All right. So that's the point of saying all that. All right. Let me go ahead and copy this link, and I'm gonna put this over here if anybody who want to look at it later. All right, then I'm also gonna do one other thing. All right, I'm also gonna do one other thing. All right. All right, just rock with me, family members. Just be patient. All right, I just want to show you something. All right, gave the signal. Okay. So a couple things. One, oh, Tawada, that's right, Ararat, Tawada. Thank you so much, everybody, for sharing that. All right. Okay, so now let me share this back with you. All right, so this is Flavius Josephus, Antiquities of the Jews. All right, now this is during the ark. All right, hereby Noah learned that the earth was become clear of the flood, and after they had stayed 7 more days, he sent the living creatures out of the ark. Both he and his family went out, and so like that when he also sacrificed to Yahweh and feasted with his companions. However, look at this. The Armenians, see, so in Armenia is where we just seen that the Noah's Ark is, called this place, and then this is the word that's used. I don't know how to read that yet, so let's translate it. But it's called the place of descent. For Noah, for the ark being saved in that place, it remains there, showed by its inhabitants to this day. So even to this day, the people know that this ark, all right, it is said that there's some part of the ship in Armenia at a mountain, all right, of the Chaldeans, that people carry off pieces of the bitumen and take away to use chiefly as amulets for the averting of evil. Averting of mischiefs. Hieronymus, the Egyptian, also wrote that the Phoenician antiquities, and Manasseh and a great many more make mention of this name. Okay, so we can see that there's historians, all right, that have written on antiquities that prove that Noah's Ark is where it is, which is in Armenia on Mount Ararat, which my friends and families have all shared with me. All right. So that's some really good information, very helpful information to share, very fun information, man. All right. All right. And here's the word that's in Greek. We can look that up. Just like the split rock, wells, and pillar across the Red Sea of Arabs are fenced off. Yeah. Yeah. And they're fenced off because the world knows that these are sacred locations. They know that these are holy locations. All right. That Yahweh made for what? That Yahweh made to be proof. That Yahweh made to be proof of his work. Okay. All right. Now I'm also going to get this, and I'm going to share this information. It's Mount Judy, also as it's called. Let me screen share. All right, and everybody can look this up. So whenever people are talking about, the Bible is not real and all this stuff, and look, man, just look this information up. All right, let me share this, man. All right, mountain range. All right, it's called the place of the descent or the place of the landing. All right, and it's the same place that our family members that you all just showed me on the map. Okay, Mount Ararat. All right, it's the place where Noah's Ark landed. So this stuff is real. All right, so let's get back to it here. Let me go ahead and put this in the link and share it. All right, I like family. I like us to know things. All right, I don't like us to be ignorant of stuff. And then if I know it, it's right if I share it. Okay. Which eventually I got to get to this calendar and this map thing, this moon thing. Man. Yeah. So anywho, all right, let's get back to it. Okay, everybody ready? Let's get back to it. And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere. It was well watered because of the decreasing of the flood, all right, after Noah's Ark landed. Before Yahweh destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as a garden of Yahweh, like the land of Egypt, as thou comest unto Zor. And then Lot chose him all the plain, then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves one from another. Now, I would have just rather been like, you know what? If any of my herdsmen arguing with Abraham's herdsmen, then you getting a whooping in front of everybody. All right. I'm not going to put you to death, but you're going to get publicly beat if you disrespecting my uncle Abraham, my uncle Abram. Instead of separating, I think that's what I would have preferred to do, because I wouldn't have wanted to leave Abram's side. I mean, the favorite of Most High was with him. The scripture says, when thou findest the man of understanding, wear down the steps of his door. When thou findest the man of understanding, you're supposed to be like, yo, shalom, hey, what's going on with this? Yo, what you think about this, man? Hey, what's up with this? When you find a man of understanding, you're supposed to be close to him. All right? I do want to say this. If you want to have a really good time with reading about Sodom and Gomorrah, read Jasher. Jasher has some really interesting information when it's talking about how wicked the land was. And then compare that with what Josephus says about it. It's very good. Verse 14. And Yahweh said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, lift up thine eyes. Lift up now thine eyes and look toward the place where thou art, northward and southward and eastward and westward. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. Hallelujah. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. Impossible. Arise, walk through the land, in the length of it and in the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. Then Abram removed his tent and came and dwelt in the plain of Mamre, which is in Hebron, and built there an altar unto Yahweh. Kal Asherah, the bar Yahweh, Na'isha, Wanashamai. All that Yahweh has said, will we do and hear. Excellent. All right, let's continue reading. We're going to go to chapter 40 verse 27. Chapter 17 verse 27. All right, so we're in chapter 14. All right, and it came to pass in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Ariach, king of Elasar, Shalmaneser, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of the nations, that these made war with Bera, king of Sodom, and Barsha, king of Gomorrah, Shanab, king of Admah, and Shemab, king of Zeboim, of the king of Bela, which is Zohar. All these were joined together in the vale of Siddim, which is the Salt Sea. 12 years they served Shalmaneser. In the 13th year they rebelled. And in the 14th year came Shalmaneser and the kings that were with him, and smote the Rephims and Ashtaroth, Karnaim, and the Zizims in Ham, and the Emnim in Shavah Katarim. Now, I had a hard time reading that. I'm not going to stunt. You know, the funny part about that is it's so much easier reading that in Hebrew than it is reading it in English. The point is also that there's a book called the Vedas. All right. There's an East Indian book. Basically, it's like an East Indian Bible. And it talks about the wars that the East Indians had with the so-called gods, with the giants. And it's pretty interesting. I ain't gonna stunt. You know, it's nowhere up there with our writings, but it talks about how the Arab and the East Indians and the other nations, how they came together and they went to war with a race of monstrous people, a race of giants, and how they destroyed them. So, you know, I can kind of see this along with Genesis chapter 14, verse 5. I don't want to teach it as a doctrine, though. All right. So just it's interesting. A little fun fact. Genesis chapter 14, verse 6. And the Horites in Mount Seir and Eliphan, which is by the wilderness, verse 7. And they returned and came to Mishpat, which is Kadesh, and smote all that country of the Amalekites. I know that word, huh? And also the Amorites, and dwelt in Hazamatahar. Let me sound it out. Read your words. Go slow. Sound it out. Tamar. Give it up for me. All praise. Put a little hat on my head. Gold sticker on my shirt. All right, verse 8. And there went out the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, and the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, the same is Zoar. And they joined battle with them in the vale of Siddim, with Shalmaneser, the king of Elam, and with Tidal, the king of the nations, and Ephemeral, king of Shinar, and Ariach, king of Eleazar, 4 kings with 5. And the vale of Siddim was full of slime pits, and the king of Sodom and Gomorrah fell there, and they that remained fled to the mountain. Okay, and they that fled there, and they that remained fled to the mountain, and they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and their victuals, and went their way. And they took Lot, Abraham's brother's son, who dwelled in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. Now that's where they messed up. They kidnapped Lot. Now there's a movie, and I gotta find this real quick. Everybody bear with me. and it's a Bible movie. I want to find this skit real quick. Man, I ain't gonna stunt, man. This hotspot service on T-Mobile slap. All right, let me see if I can find this. Abraham rescues Lot, Bible movie.
Did you know that half a teaspoon of this burns fat 720?
Let me see if I can find this movie. Oh, this is it. Oh, this is it. This is it. Okay, so it's from a movie called The Bible. So this dude is supposed to be Abraham. He actually looks like Priest Yochanan. All right, Priest Yochanan from North Carolina. All right. There's a scene in this to where they rescue Lot, and Lot's wife says something back to Lot. Says something back to Abraham. So this is supposed to be Abraham. That's supposed to be Shaddai. That's supposed to be Lot. All of these dusty looking, dirty neck Edomites. Look, man, come on, man. Abram wasn't dirty and dusty like that, man. She ain't even beautiful. She smell like cigarettes and Coca-Cola. Man, anywho, ugh. All right, I'm gonna see if this is the right scene, man. Because Lot's wife says something to Abraham, and he gives her this look. He he give her this look, and I can't get over it. It's one of the best scenes ever. These dusty busters, boy, get out of here, man. I played Abraham in a movie. Ugh. All right, pull up for precise seeking. All right, I think this is it. Let's see. Dusty cells. Well, they so dirty looking. It just look dirty. Okay, so that's Lot and his wife. All right, so they're kidnapped. Okay, so we'll come back to that. Okay, but let's I gotta read the scripture first, and then we'll come back to that. But I hope this is the scene to where they show this face that he makes, man. His face is classic. Like, what? Oh, I think it cuts off like right before it. Oh, no. Okay. So let's try to finish reading real quick. All right. So this is where they messed up at. Now, I know if y'all family's like anything like my family, if you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. All right. So we are a family that will jump you. We won't jump you because we Israelites, we'll work it out, but we are a family that will run up in your house and will jump another family for messing with one of us. And that's how it should be. We should protect each other, and we should not let other nations or other people bully us at all whatsoever. All right. So let's read this. So read Genesis chapter 14, verse 12. And they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelled in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. And there came one that had escaped, and told Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, and brother of Anar, and these were confederate with Abram. So we see that Abram not only lived amongst the Gentiles in the land, but he also had constituents that were Gentiles. All right. He was cool with them. He ain't had no smoke with them. Everybody loved our father. And we got to take on that mentality too, of knowing how to operate, be with the Gentiles, the Goyim, and to be able to rock with them. But they have to be in the mind state of us, not us in the mind state of them. Okay. Verse 14. And when Abram heard his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants, born in his own house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan. And he divided himself against them and his servants by night, and smote them and pursued them unto Hobah, which is on the left hand of Damascus. And he brought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother Lot, and his goods, and the women also, and the people. And the kings of Sodom went out to meet him after his return from the slaughter of Chedorlaomer, and the kings that were with him at the valley of Seva, which is the king's dale. Now, something else that's about this is the Arabic custom teaches that this is a place where the king's dale is a place where all of the people of Israel and the Arabs, all of the people, Israel wasn't born yet. I apologize. The man, our father Jacob, wasn't born yet, but all of the kings were able to meet up at, and it was a safe place. It was a meeting place. All right, so it was like a marketplace or like a Walmart, you know, for all of the people to pass through, and you know, it was no smoke. It was a no-fly zone. It was not a green light zone. You had to come there and be in peace. Now, here's a very interesting part because we're going to read about this very special name right here, which is Melchizedek. All right. Now, some people think Melchizedek is Yahushai. I don't believe that Melchizedek is Yahushai. And I know why. Yeah, you know, no father, no mother. Okay. I don't believe Melchizedek is Yahushai because of different reasons. But that doesn't make me a hypocrite. It doesn't make me a blasphemous person. It just means that, you know, I might have looked at some stuff that made me see things differently. And it's not blasphemous to believe that Melchizedek is not Yahushai. All right, but let me read this again. All right, and I'll also show you all why I think that, one of the reasons. Genesis chapter 14, verse 18. And Melchizedek, king of Shalom, or king of Salem, or king of peace, all right, which was a location. It doesn't mean that he was the king of all peace. He was the king of, he was the first king of Jerusalem, all right? King of Salem, he was the king of peace, all right? Brought forth bread and wine, and he was a priest of the Most High Yahweh, okay? And he blessed him, and said, blessed be Abram of the Most High, Allahaya, possessor of heaven and earth. And he blessed be Most High Yahweh, which hath delivered thine enemies unto thine hand. And he gave him, tithes of all. All right. And the king of Sodom said unto Abram, give me the persons and take the goods thereof. So let me stop right here. And let's deal with this just ever so very briefly, okay? If anybody has anything they want to bring out or say about it, please do. Your opinions will be respected, and I hope that my opinion will be respected. And I do believe that one day we will come to a place of knowing and understanding, okay? So first, let me see. I got this. I want to look this up. Nathan. Oh, Nathan. Okay, so he gave. So Nathan means gave. Okay. Okay. So Nathan. So he gave gifts. All right. He gave gifts and tithes of all. All right. So, okay. All right. One thing at a time. First, let's check out this movie clip, and then we'll go into that. They're gonna preach Yakanan. They're gonna preach Yakanan.
Trust in God.
They made that one Negro have a scene, but they had to make Abraham white. The dead Negro laying on the ground was a part of the heathens that had kidnapped, but Abraham had to be Edomite. This is why you can't go to the movies with me. I'm gonna tell you all right, you can't go to the movies with me because I'll be sitting there picking apart a movie in the theater. When the movie Planet of the Apes came out, I was in there snapping. Paid full price, paid full admission. You know, I was on a date and everything, man. You know, I'm in there going off, man. Y'all don't see that they up in here talking about you niggas. You niggas is the monkeys. They calling y'all monkeys. But wait, man, I was in there snapping. Went to the booth. I want my money back. Can't go to the movies with me. Can't take me nowhere. Look, I can't stand her. This is Lot's wife, right? I can't stand her. Especially this movie. Look how she looking now. She forgot a couple seconds back. She was just gagged up in the mouth, getting dragged about they was about to have a field day with her. They was about to have a whole dancing scene with her. She like, no. Lot like, don't touch her. Oh, no. Look at it. Look. She forgot about that, right? So now she all looking funny in the face with her long Sarah Silverman looking. I can't stand Sarah Silverman either, man. Y'all don't even know. Sarah Silverman, she got comedy shows to where she did nothing but super stupid racist jokes about Israelites, about Hebrews, about Negroes. Super stupid racist jokes. And then she had the audacity to say something about Kanye West, you know. And then but here's the thing, Sarah Silverman's racist jokes, they took them off the internet.
So few of us against so many.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I can't stand them. I can't stand these Gentiles sometimes. Okay. They didn't show the scene. They cut the scene right at the ending of it. All right. I'm gonna try to get it real quick. All right. Oh man. Dang it. Oh man, I can't believe they cut the scene. Maybe this one. I don't want to spend too much time on this. If it's not on this clip, then I'm cool on it. But sometimes I'll be overanalyzing stuff too. I'll be like, yo, did y'all see that? Yo, that was funny. That was messed up. Oh yeah, okay, this got it. Okay. What would you have done in that situation? If you was Lot's wife, who wants to be Lot's wife? Raise a hand. Who wants to be known as Lot's wife? How many women in Israel be like aspire to be Lot's wife? You know, yeah. When I grow up, I want to be like Lot's wife. There we go. They got a long face. All right, let's get this real quick. I can't stand her, man. She just looks like she smoked a lot of cigarettes, you know. She looks like she got a lot of cats and she smokes a lot of cigarettes and she drinks a lot of Pepsi. All right. I don't mean like a regular number of cats. I mean like she got a lot of cats. Like, oh man. Come on, man. Don't be funny, Styles acting. Come on, we almost done. We're almost there. All right, how about this? I'm gonna pause the video clip. All right, we'll come back to it because I don't want to waste too much time. All right. I want them to slow down our momentum either, our momentum. All right. True story right here. It do be hard. Yo, I feel you. Yo, you ready? Right? Yo, I love that scene is classic. That scene cracks me up. All right. Sulfur, wet dog, cheese whiz, mothballs. Oh man. Oh, that's a good one, man. Y'all see that? That man said she looked like she smelled like sulfur. She looked like she smelled like sulfur, wet dog, cheese whiz, and mothballs. Oh, you gotta put cigarettes in there. All right. She looked like she smoked Camels without the filter, brother. You gotta put that in there. Okay. Man, okay, this scene is messing up, man. It's messing me up. But I got to tell you, man, I am thoroughly enjoying keeping the Shabbats with you family members. It's been a while, and I haven't been online very much lately. So, yeah. So, man, I apologize, man. This movie clip is messing up. I'm just going to, man. All right, I'm going to cut. I don't want to take too long. It's taking away from what we're trying to do. All right. All right. If it doesn't work this time, yeah, that's the best right there, man. That's an excellent roast. Excellent roast. All right, so let me get this real quick. Now, this might come to a shock to some of you, okay? And if you don't agree with it, it's fine. What I want to tell you to do is just research, research, study. Now, I'm going to read this. This is from our Eusebius Ecclesiastical Histories, okay? Now, this section, it is, okay, let's pull it up online and see if we can get it online. I'm going to leave that comment up because that brother got he did the roast of the day. That was the best. All right, that brother says, first of all, she smelled like sulfur. All right, second of all, she smelled like wet dog. Third of all, she smelled like, that was a good one. All right. I don't know why that clip's not loading. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to screen share. All right. And let's learn together. Eusebius Ecclesiastical Histories, Chapter 3. The name Jesus and also the name Christ were known from the beginning and were honored by the inspired prophets. That should be it. So let's see if we can get it to ring up. Oh man, I don't know what's going on. Maybe dare I say it? Maybe my Wi-Fi is starting to slow down. Did I use all my Wi-Fi data, hotspot data within one Torah portion session? Dare I say it? Come on, man. This is the thing I don't like about teaching online. I hate being interrupted, man. And it's okay if we're interrupted by people or something like that, but when the technology or the prince of the powers of the air, when it start acting funny, and your brain is moving faster than the internet, or the spirit is moving faster than the internet, man, that'd be the worst, man. I hate that because there's so much to teach, there's so much to say, there's so much to bring out. All right, I'm gonna cut that. I'm going to close that window. We're not even going to deal with it. Looks like some foolery is going on. I'm going to go ahead and close that. Genesis chapter 14, Isaiah. That's John. This is Josephus. We're going to close that. That's Josephus. We're going to close that. We're going to get back to this. And all right, I see that things are starting to freeze up now. Okay, so I'm going to read this straight from the book. Okay, so I'm going to read this straight from the book. So it reads, all right, this is Isidore of Seville's. No, excuse me. This is Eusebius Ecclesiastical History. This is book chapter 3, and the title of this is called. Oh, I see. I also have one bar on my Wi-Fi, so the Wi-Fi is not the strongest signal. So it says the name Jesus and also the name Christ were known from the beginning and were honored by the inspired prophets. Verse 16. And elsewhere, the same writer speaks of him as follows. The Lord said unto my Lord, that's the book of Psalms, chapter 110. Okay. So King David said, Yahweh said unto Yahweh. The Lord said unto my Lord, Yahweh said unto Yahweh. The Lord said unto my Lord, sit at my right hand until I have made your enemies your footstool. And out of the womb before the morning star have I begot you. Yahweh has sworn, and he will not repent. You are a priest forever before the order of Melchizedek. But this Melchizedek is introduced in the Holy Scriptures as a priest of the Most High, Alahaya, not consecrated by the anointing oil especially prepared, and not even belonging to the descent, not belonging by descent to the priesthood of Jews. Wherefore, after his order, but not after the order of the others who received symbols and types, was our Savior proclaimed, and with an appeal to an oath, Christ and priest. History, therefore, does not relate that he was anointed corporally by the Jews, nor that he belonged to the lineage of the priests, but that he came into existence from Alahaya himself before the morning star, that is, before the organization of the world, and that he would be an immortal and undecaying priesthood for eternal ages. So take of that what you will. I'm personally still learning it. This is from the book Ecclesiastical Histories from Eusebius on the subject of Melchizedek. Okay. So Melchizedek could be a Halashai. I don't know. I don't think so, but could be. Could not be. I don't know. I'm still open up for interpretation on understanding that. So let me see if the internet's working. I know that we're having a thunderstorm here. Okay, there we go. Now it's working. And then let me also see. Okay. I kind of feel like it's taking up too much time. I just want to get back to the Torah portion now. Okay. All right, so let's get back to it. That was a good little break. So Genesis chapter 14. Genesis chapter 14, let's start at verse 20, okay? Genesis chapter 14, verse 20, okay? And let's read. Genesis 14, 20. And blessed be the Most High Yahweh, which have delivered thine enemies into thine hand. And he gave him tithes of all. And the king of Sodom said unto him, give me the persons and take the goods to thyself. Let me have the people, and you keep all the money, Abraham or Abram. And Abram said unto the king of Sodom, I have lifted up my hand unto Yahweh, the Most High, Alahaya, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take from a thread, even a shoelace. It says shoe latchet, a shoe latchet, and that I will not take anything that is thine, lest thou should say, I have made Abraham rich. Abraham said, no deal. Trick no good. I ain't doing nothing with you. I ain't making no deal, no bargain, nothing. And Abraham said, I got what I got. All right, now move out the way. Get on before you get spit on. Save only that the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men which were with me after Anar, Eshcol, and Mamre, let them take their portion. He said, go make a deal with them. Go make a deal with them Gentiles. Yahweh bless me. I ain't letting you make it be said that you the one that made me rich. You the one who blessed me. You the one who hooked me up. Nah, Abraham said, trick no good. I ain't even gonna do it. So now we're in the book of Barashias, Genesis chapter 15. I can see that the internet is slowing down. I don't know if it's because of the weather or if it's because of my Wi-Fi server, but I'm praying, I'm hoping that it'll go through, it'll finish up. So let's read on. All right, so repeat after me. Kala Shara, the body Yahweh, Na Aisha, Wa Na Shemai. All that Yahweh said, we do and hear. Hallelujah. Barashias chapter 15, Genesis chapter 15. After these things, the word of Yahweh came unto Abram in a vision, saying, fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward. And Abram said, Yahweh, Alahaya, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless, and the steward of my house is this Eleazar of Damascus. So he says, look, I don't have any children. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something else. Here's another thing. You will come across so many different writings. Okay, I just want to let you all know this. First of all, at this time, our father Abram, he didn't have a child. So our father Isaac Yatzak, he wasn't born yet. Not Yatzak. He wasn't born yet. So our father Abram, he's saying, I don't have any children. The only thing I have is this person who takes care of all of my stuff, whose name is Eleazar of Damascus. Now, there are some writings, and I'm not teaching this as a doctrine, so please don't say that you learned it from me. You can say that you heard it from me. You know, there are some writings, and it's found in a book that's called The Legends of the Jews, and I believe that it's fair to give people opportunity to research things. But Rabbi Louis Ginsburg, he did a book called The Legends of the Jews. And in The Legend of the Jews, when it talks about Abraham, it also talks about Eleazar of Damascus. But when it talks about Eleazar of Damascus, it says that Eleazar is actually Og. It says that Og, you know, Og, the giant. I know that this sounds weird. It sounds bugged out. I don't know it to be true. I don't think that it is true. But at the same time, you in your journeys might run across somebody who might mention it, and I don't want it to be new to you. So you can research it, find out for yourself. I wouldn't teach that Og is Eleazar. I will say this, in case you run into somebody who does teach it or who does think it, then you won't be unfamiliar with it, is what I mean to say. So, so again, in the book, Rabbi Louis Ginsburg, Legends of the Jews, it teaches that Eleazar is Og, king of Bashan. Now I'm not gonna, I was about to, but I'm not gonna look it up right now. You know, the giant, the one that we put to death, we broke his ankles. And he had the bedstead, and he had the, you know, the 60 cities that we took over. Yeah, so there's certain writings that say that he was Eleazar, he was Abram, our father Abraham's servant, that was given to Abraham by either Nimrod or by Abimelech. Okay, so that's just something to keep in mind. You can look it up, you know, or you can put it to the side of your head. At least you heard it from me first, so you can say you heard it from me. But, you know, don't teach that I'm teaching it, because I'm not. I'm just saying, if you run across somebody who's saying it, then you'll know where it came from. It came from that book right there, The Legends of the Jews by Rabbi Louis Ginsburg. Let's go ahead and go forward. Genesis chapter 15, verse 3. And Abram said, behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one is born in my house. One is born in my house as my heir. See, and that's another thing. So I guess that really kills the argument, because Eleazar was supposed to be born. So it says he was born in his house. But Rabbi Louis Ginsburg, he says that Abraham received Og as a reward. So I'm going to have to look into that. And if that's so, then the scriptures kills whatever is written about in that book. Which we also have to put the scriptures before other books that we find, or we can end up being heretics. Like there's this guy named Malachi Maccabee. He used to be Malachi Maccabee. I call him today Malachi Magus, because unfortunately he went away from the Torah. He started teaching against the Torah. I will not call him Malachi Magus until it's shown that he repents. He teaches a whole different Messiah. He teaches the vegan Jesus. He probably teaches that. No, I won't say that. I apologize for that probably part, because that's not good. It's not masculine for me to do that. But I can only speak on the things that I've heard him say. So if we don't put the Torah first, then we can fall into that same witchcraft that came upon, you know, him and so many other Israelites, where they put other books over the Torah. So don't put other books over the Torah. Scripture says, lo, he cometh in the volume of the book. So that's the volume of the Bible as we know it to be the Bible. So so this scripture, Genesis chapter 15, verse 3, kills what Rabbi Louis Ginsburg said about Og being the same as Eleazar. Let's look into that real quick. All right. Yeah, thanks for that. Eleazar Jewish, Eleazar Damascus, syntax, Legends of the Jews, habit stations, legends of the Jews, Eleazar, spouse of the poor. All right, Sodomites, Kabod. Eleazar technically not Jewish. Eleazar, son of Mashat. Nah. All right. So let me see if I can find it real quick. If it takes too long, then we're gonna go away from it. Okay. All right. If it takes too long, then I'll have to present it later. Man, I think that I'm wearing out my man. Why couldn't they just give me unlimited internet, man? Like, because I would have had to pay for it, right? Okay. Yeah, that's a good answer. All right. But I can see that this loading process is a lot slower than what it used to be. It was popping a minute ago. All right. Okay, this is interesting. All right. In later edition, Og became Eleazar. So that's interesting to see. All right. All right. Yep, it's taking too long. Okay, it's taking too long, and I don't want to go away from what we're doing. Yeah, man. Yeah, that maggot doctor, man. Yeah, terrible to hear, terrible to see, man. Truly made me sad, man. I'm sorry to hear that. All right. Okay, so let's go back to the Torah. The Wi-Fi is starting to go slow, and I don't want to cause our studies to be interrupted. Okay, so and Abram said, behold, Genesis.Abram chapter 15, verse 3. And Abram said, behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is my heir. And behold, the word of Yahweh. When you see this, the word of Yahweh, that's Yahawashi, okay? Because Yahawashi is the word. So Yahawashi is the word of Yahweh, even in the Old Testament. So he's everywhere in the scriptures. All right. And behold, the word of Yahweh came unto him, saying, this shall be thine heir. This shall not be thy heir, but he that shall come forth out of thy own bowels shall be thine heir. And he brought him forth abroad and said, look now toward heaven and tell the stars if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, so shall thy seed be. And he believed Abraham. He believed in Yahweh, and he counted it to him for righteousness. So our father Abraham was not saved because of sacrifices. He was not blessed because of the multitude of sacrifices. He was blessed and saved because he was given favor because of his faith, his belief in Yahweh. And I want to tell you, Yasha'alim, and I want to tell you, Goyam, you Gentiles that are not of the bloodline of Abraham, that are not of the bloodline of Yatzach, that are not of the bloodline of Ya'iqab, but you are of another bloodline. If you're not of the bloodline of Bini Yaakov or Banya Yasha'Allah, then you still can have favor in the eyes of the Most High by having faith in him and believing him and keeping his law, statutes, and commandments and believing in his son, Yahawashi HaMashiach, as it is written, and not going about doing your own ways. No eating meats that's offered or sacrificed to idols. Stay away from reveling in wild parties. Stay away from fornication. Okay, stay away from idol worship and idolatry, and have faith in Yahweh and his only begotten son, Yahawashi HaMashiach, as we seen our father Abram did, and it was counted to him for righteousness. Okay, now everything else that comes along with that, we encourage you to do. All right, don't add to, don't take nothing away from. All right, everything else that and be willing to give your life for this gospel, for this ministry. Okay, by Shema Mashiach Yahawashi. All right, so that he can count it righteousness unto you for being obedient. Genesis chapter 15, verse 7. He said unto him, I am Yahweh that brought thee out of Ur of the Chaldees to give thee this land to inherit. Remember, we read that earlier in Josephus, verse 8. And he said, Yahweh Allahaya, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? And he said unto him, take me a heifer of 3 years old, and a she-goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. Verse 10. And he took all these with him and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another. But the birds he divided not. And when the fowls came upon the carcasses, Abram drove them away. Now, here's something that's interesting. In the Torah, we see that this is mentioned, but it's not really mentioned why. So it says that this is when Abram was doing the sacrifices. When you read the Apocalypse of Abraham, it'll tell you that when our father Abram was doing the sacrifices, the Hashatan came to him, and Hashatan came in the form of these crows or these birds who attempted to interfere with the sacrifice, with the offerings, and in the process attempted to discourage our father Abram. Now, some of it sounds very far-fetched, and it's interesting to hear, but we always put the Torah first, and we have this other information on the side of our head, just in case somebody else presents it or come with it. We'd be like, oh, you got that from the Apocalypse of Abraham, not for us to go off of it, or you got that from the book of Joshua, not for us to go off of it, but for us to be aware of its origin and say, but the Torah says this. All right. So Genesis chapter 15, verse 12. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And salute to my daughter Naquah, because I believe that somebody in my community, I think it was my Benaf Naquah, she mentioned that Yahweh brought this horror and this great darkness. Because I said, name different times that Yahweh brought this darkness. And somebody brought this up and I forgot about it. That was a great answer. Genesis chapter 15, verse 13. And he said unto Abram, know of surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. So now Abram's having this terrible nightmare. And I got to tell y'all, man, I had a bad dream this morning waking up, man. It was a dream about the apocalypse, man. And the scariest part about my dream wasn't that it was the end of the world. It was the stuff that I was seeing. Like when I was looking up in the sky, I seen different things that were happening in the sky. The sky was cracking open. And I called our brother Asha Hawada, and I was like, yo, I sent him a message, and our brother Asha Hawada, I'm like, yo, this is the vision, man, the dream that the Most High has given me. And he was able to counsel me. He was able to console me in that moment. So, so when Abraham is having this vision, so salute to our brother Asha Hawada. So when Abraham's having this vision, he's having a nightmare. If we're back on, it looks like the Wi-Fi is about to cut out. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, give me a second. Let me go and get a charger. Like I said, I'm using the Wi-Fi for the phone. Let me get a 7 if we're back online now. Baba Shah. All right, real quick, take a break. I gotta go grab a charger. Con, I see them 7s up in the room. Greatly appreciate. All right, all praise. There's a real strong wind advisory up here in Illinois. Weather's really freaky up here right now. There's 0%. Oh no. All right. I'm on 0%. We're gonna rock. It's